Hi there, my name is Phixfox, and welcome back to Heroes of Might and Magic 2. This is the FHeroes edition, and today we're going to be doing a playthrough of Plains of Aekon, the extra-large 6-player map. This is going to continue our trend of these kind of more grand-scale epic adventures. Someday Phixfox will do these really small, tight quarters maps, but for now, I really enjoy playing a long-standing, epic, grand-scale adventure. They just are kind of hitting the spot for me at the moment, so I am thrilled to present to you today Plains of Aekon. So with that being said, let's take a quick peek at the scenario description so we are all on the same page. Plains of Aekon. The scenario description reads as such: each side has a single stronghold and resources are scarce, but real power can be found in the sinewy seas which divide the lands. Again, 6 players, extra large. This does come from the Price of Loyalty expansion. This is a free-for-all, everybody's against everybody. It's denoted as being a normal difficulty map, but I seem to recall, and it's been quite some time since I played this scenario, I seem to recall that it does have some real difficulty to it. We are going to have to wait and find out. With that being said, we do have the choice, as I make sure it's on impossible difficulty, between starting off as one of these 6 factions: blue, green, red, yellow, orange, or purple, each corresponding to a different faction. As always, let's let the dice roll decide what we're going to pick today. The dice here have decided that we are going to roll a 5. And a 5 is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll put us down as the Orange Knights. And I must say that anytime you're starting off with the Orange Knights, or the Knights in general, you're going to be under a little bit of pressure to do things as precisely as you possibly can. There is an awful lot to be done with the Knight faction as far as utilizing their early game strengths to leverage yourself into a late game victory. So I appreciate the chat. That's what I was hoping for. Lord Shadowing is looking for the Knights, and then Vammy is saying, oof, Knights. There's pluses and minuses. What can I say? There's ups and there's downs. And so more than that, I cannot say what we are up against. We're just gonna have to dive in and find out. Very nice to have everybody here, by the way. I appreciate your time. I know that we are streaming much later than usual. I'm about 4 hours later, but unfortunately this is probably gonna be the main time that I am available to stream on Fridays. So I will give you what I got. It may not be much, but this is what I've got. It is a time of great strife, a kingdom once united by the great leader, Beswyn Selwyn, who led her armies to victory in the Demon Wars during the Age of Heroes, is now torn by 6 factions. Resources are scarce, and all sides have sent an army to the plains of Aekon in an attempt to seize control of the precious mines and mills. War has now become inevitable. Yet, even victory on the plains of Aekon is only a small step for each faction. True power can only be found at sea, in the winding straits and channels that divide each kingdom. The hero who can take an army to the seas and conquer the perils which await them will be assured of dominion over this divided land. You have trained and prepared all your life for war, and now that it has finally come, you pray. You are truly ready. You have heard rumors of the kind of monsters which you must face. Can the courage of fighting men and women be sufficient to overcome such brutes as you will face in your attempt to unite the 6 kingdoms? Your advisors tell you that you must strike quickly and without fear before your enemies can build their power. You have dreams of building a cathedral where the finest warriors will train to become holy paladins and crusaders, but even if you achieve this goal, time will work against you. The barbarian Dothraki and even more dangerous adversaries await you. That being the reference that someone had mentioned possibly being for the, what was it? What's the series? Game of Thrones? Apparently those books, the first book was written about the same time that Heroes Might and Magic 2 came out. So that is possibly a reference to the Game of Thrones Barbarians. And with that, we start off with, it looks like, oh boy, this is the portrait of Ruby the Knight. Arcadia is level 3 with 4 attack, 2 defense, 1 spell power, 1 knowledge, 5 of the champions, 10 of the master swordsman. She does start off with basic leadership, advanced ballistics, and the basic wisdom, which is lovely. Not to mention a spell book, although there are 3 spells in there. I was expecting none. A slow, a cure, and a bless. The slow we can make some good use out of. And very interesting to see this Medal of Valor, so we are going to have excellent morale here as we start off in this little town of Talon Burr. Nothing against the knights, but man, I've played in so many scenarios where you get little wooden ore and it's just miserable. If this turns out to be a miserable experience, then we will commiserate together and have a lovely time, Vammy, so no worries. This can be upgraded from a town into a castle, although because we start off on impossible difficulty, resources are going to be very hard to come by, as you just mentioned. And we do have, thankfully to our name, no peasants, but rangers, pikemen, swordsmen, cavalries, paladins. I am so very grateful that the creator of this map saw fit to start us off with rangers instead of just archers. That is a massive upgrade here. And we do start off with the Thieves Guild. It looks like everybody is starting off pretty much on equal footing, and it looks like everybody has at least one hero, minus green, that is special in some way. We do have Arcadia, but we also have this other portrait. This hero is a lone hero in the very center of the map, or so it would seem. We start in the upper right corner, but then there's one hero, Silverleaf, who has a special portrait here in the more or less center of the map. Not a lot of troops, 5 champions, 10 master swordsmen, level 3, same basic loadout as Arcadia, but no spells in this instance. And so what to expect here, I seem to remember that there are many freebies in the center of the map, but it is an absolute bloodbath as you try and take what you can and stay alive. And so we're going to try and exercise some serious discretion and just stay alive. Because we have no resources, it seems reasonable to me to head out right now. Your heart rejoices at the sight of the golden armor of the 5 Crusaders of Talon Burr. These worthy veterans are the last survivors from the Demon Wars in the Age of Heroes, and once served under the legendary Beswyn Selwyn herself. With them at your side, you know that victory against even the most terrible of foes is within your grasp. I don't know about that. Crusaders are good. Crusaders are good. But I also can think of many obstacles that we might face that could cause us some major issues. Say, oh, I don't know, dragons, titans. Yeah, there's many an issue. I do see immediately 1, 2, 3 archers' houses. Knowing that we already have the ability to upgrade into our rangers is going to be critical there. I do see ore in abundance in the upper right. I'm looking for a sawmill, and it looks like no sawmill is present as we speak. We may go over to this other observation tower just to find out what's there. Shrine of the Second Circle. I believe that we will defeat skeletons with no problems, and I think that getting the stables on day 1 is going to serve us very, very well as we try and run the gambit, go through all of this, and pick up some freebies. By the way, worth noting, Freeman's Foundry and the stables are so very good for the knights. Why is it good? We will never, ever in our lives be forced to upgrade our pikemen or our master swordsmen. And so with the Freeman's Foundry will help us there, and then the stables will help us upgrade our cavalries into champions. I'm excited to make sure that we are getting off as scot-free as possible. We approach the stables and the headgroom appears, leading a fine-looking warhorse. This steed will help speed us in our travels. Alas, his endurance will wane with a lot of heavy riding, and we must return for a fresh mount in a week. They also have many fine warhorses, which could benefit our cavalries. At this point, though, we have none. That's okay. I'm going to step on the Shrine of the Second Circle. If we get a lightning bolt, a cold ray, a blind, oh, if we got a blind, that would be thrilling. And so we're not going to split up our forces at all. We are going to fight this fight. We're going to take our free experience here, and we're going to pick up Death Ripple. I don't know how I feel about that. There are times when having a Death Ripple is actually useful, because look, it's only going to do 5 points of damage. It's not going to do damage, really, but it does have the ability to unblind multiple groups of your troops. And so that's actually not a bad pickup. I'm just fine for that. We have a choice, folks. Do we go south or do we go east? Anybody have any preference either way? I don't remember if one of these is better or worse. I'm going to assume that they're equal, but does anybody care which way we go, south or east? I'll let you guys decide. East. Lord Shadowwing has spoken first, and they have said that east is the direction we will go, and so we shall go east. We do have, it looks like, some rogues. I just see their very feet. Maybe that's dwarves, but it's dwarves actually. Dwarves are guarding something to the north. We do see a sign. We see the road that splits in 2 directions. I think I'm feeling more north. Staying away from the center of the map just feels better to me. There is a stone lith here. I don't know if that's a good idea or not to go on to, but I'd like to pick up the sign because I always do. And this says, this is the gateway to the kingdom of Talon Burr, where the knights rule, and the barbarian and to the Barbarian lands of Dothraki. So we share a teleporter with the Barbarian heroes. That's pretty interesting. And so for that reason, I feel obligated to go through this lith just to see what else is over here. I'm wondering if there's multiple outlets to this lith. We have to hit spacebar a couple of times just to find out. Aha. And so we've seen that there's at least one exit into the swamp, one exit into the snow, and it's possible that the snow exit is our exit, and then the Barbarians are stuck in the swamp. I'm guessing that that's what it is. I'm gonna hit spacebar one more time. Okay, and for now, this is where we're gonna stay as we go on to day 2. Remember, there's really nothing to build because we didn't ever pick up any resources, and so we shall continue on our way, picking up 500 gold, and we are going to fight this horde of goblins, and we are going to win as we go towards these archers. I'm going to split off one single master swordsman just in case we do have any problems. A horde of goblins could spell problems. Negative. No problems. 150 experience we will take, and folks, this is a little interesting. I'm going to take the pathfinding, but let me tell you why this is actually a little bit weird. Navigation on a map where all the pretext indicates to us that he who controls the sea is going to have the major treasure in this world makes navigation a very attractive opportunity, but I'm a little bit short-sighted. Phixfox only cares about today and maybe tomorrow. I don't care about what happens in 2-3 weeks, and so for that reason, I'm going to take the basic pathfinding, which will eliminate my penalty on snow mostly. That'll at least help me out an awful lot. I don't regret that decision. Maybe I will regret it later, but for now, we're going to take that. I do see lots of ogres. I'm going to pick up the extra 1,000 experience here. I'm going to fight these sprites. Unfortunately, they're going to cause me a little bit of grief. I'm going to make sure I'm on close formation. I'm going to try and keep my archers covered up, and then we will immediately go for this gold mine. That cannot possibly be bad. Vammy says, am I the only one a bit weirded out about the fact that the red archers are recruited from an archery range with a blue tarp, but the blue rangers are recruited from an archer's range with a red tarp? To which Lord Shadowwing replies that he always thought it was odd as well. Of course, focusing here, red tarp, blue rangers, and it's blue into red rangers. Yeah, I think that's a very apt observation, and I love that very, very much. I don't have any further insight on that, I truly don't, but I'm all for it. I don't know which is best, to go in this direction, back down towards the plains, or to just make sure I keep this hero alive. I'm gonna take a massive penalty in the snow, and I think that that's really what makes my decision mostly for me. There's a chance we're gonna run into some enemies up here, and if we do, we're gonna be having a real bad time. We understand that, we know that. But any experience or any scouting we get off here is still gonna be useful. We do see the windmill here, and we do see this magic garden. That's instantly gonna make this much better for us. And so even if we do lose this hero, we're going to feel not as bad as we could have. I'm going to split up my troops just a little bit. And the only reason for that is just so that way I can get some additional assistance, some additional tactical advantage in the event that we are attacked. Will we get attacked? I do not know. Vammy says, also about the pathfinding versus navigation on the map. Sure, controlling the sea is important, but first you need to be able to get to the sea. So I would have taken pathfinding as well. Excellent. I'm happy to hear that we are on the same path. I don't think that me putting myself on close formation actually made a difference in that fight. And as someone mentioned in the previous playthrough, they said, I can't think of a time I've ever used close formation. It's usually not incredibly helpful, but there are times where it does come in handy. So we're gonna assume that that might have helped just a little bit and pretend like we've been useful there. 920 experience. I am gonna see if I can save this Master Swordsman. I think that with this many ogres, it's actually very unlikely that we will do so. It'll depend on how we get this first hit off on these ogres. They're very, very slow. I'm not going to cast another slow. I am going to immediately cast the Bless. It's a very small effect, but because the archers, not the rangers, but archers are going to do so much damage for so many turns until these ogres get here, it seems like it'll work out just fine. And we might as well attack this closest set and then the second set there, as we do tons and tons of skips. The Bless has worn off. We only have 2 spell power. Should I reapply? 7 spell points left. I think not. I think I actually want to save my slows just in case something else comes up. I'm going to pepper this big stack of ogres one time and plan on doing this. It's going to go, 1 ogre goes down here, and then the Crusaders are going to get a wallop of damage off on this big stack of 4. Skip. And I'm anticipating ogres are going to go there and here. And so we're going to skip, destroy, wait. and call it a day. Okay. Nice use of the terrain. Occasionally we get lucky with that. This is actually an interesting choice as well, as we pick up +1 defense skill for Arcadia. Estates for what appears to be possibly our main hero for the entire rest of the game. 100 to 500 gold per day. Feels really good. The scouting, as we saw in the previous playthrough, could be critically important. I think I'm going to go with the estates, just assuming that gold is always going to be useful. Scouting will eventually fall off in use, but gold is here to stay. So we shall take that and 1,000 extra gold per day. This feels like a pretty good start. I don't know what else we could have done. This feels fairly straightforward, but I'm thrilled for it all the same. I don't want any part of these grand elves. I think I'm fine with orcs, and I think I'm fine with rogues. As we head north, I guess that there is this magic well. Perhaps we'll stop in there. Maybe this gazebo. Maybe we'll try and purchase some troops. We will wait and see. We catch the leprechaun foolishly sleeping amidst the cluster of magic mushrooms in exchange for the freedom. He does guide us to a small pot filled with precious things. Gotta love the good morale. I love good morale. And really, when we talk about how valuable the knights are as a faction, I think they are obligated to discuss how useful it is to start off with morale. I think you must discuss that, because not every faction is going to get the opportunity to do double damage occasionally. And so, knowing that you do have the opportunity here, it makes a big difference. Does it make up for the gap in the late game 6th tier creatures? Not necessarily, but it really does reinforce the ability of the knights to be valuable early on. We see blue water here. They've got a few peasants. I am instantly regretting bringing these 2-speed creatures into my army, but knowing that blue water is also going to be slow, I'm going to play this a little bit loose and a little bit fast. We're going to pick up freebies wherever we can. It looks like this water wheel has already been taken. I'm guessing it was probably taken by this hero, or maybe it was taken by another hero. I don't know. I do see this trading post. We might want to consider picking that up sooner rather than later. And against these enemies, I think I want to try and head home. I don't like my odds against Magi and Rocks nearly so well. Mr. Epicliciousness, hey gamers. Hey there, how you doing, sir? Nice to have you back. Thrilled to see you there. We're just playing some Heroes of Might and Magic 2. This is going to be Plains of Aekon, a map that I remember I've totally played in the past, but it's been an awful long time since we have done so. And so what to expect and how best to play our cards, I do not know. It looks like these Barbarians are much faster. Oh my goodness. So 2-speed, 2-speed, 4-speed as their slowest. We may want to just run in this other direction and run far, far away from Khal Drogo. I don't think we want any part of this. So let's just let blue water take this guy's attention and go from there. The Plains of Aekon, the hub of trade and commerce of the Six Kingdoms. Let's assume that these peasant huts are empty. Let's see if we can run around the Barbarian. Maybe he'll go south, and maybe he's going to double back and jump right on top of us. I don't know. Lord Shadowwing, is that a Cthulhu? I can't see exactly what that icon is. I think that Mr. Epicliciousness, is that a dancing mushroom, or is that a water elemental? I can't tell, but I'm very interested to find out. +1 defense and the 10% movement for the logistics. Folks, we've rolled an excellent hero here with Arcadia. Look at this. Basic pathfinding, basic logistics, the estates, the wisdom. This is a great hero. This is a wonderful start. I am thrilled for this. We are going to hop in the temple very quickly because morale is good. We're going to head north just long enough to pop in and get our archers up to rangers, and we're going to see what happens here in the very middle. Oh no. And we immediately run into a buzzsaw. We could not have seen this red enemy here, but in a game where they have vampire lords and we just have champions, I think that there's no question who's going to win this fight. This is not looking good. It's a bussin' fungus. It's my buddy made. Oh, wonderful. That's a good looking fun guy. He looks like a fun guy. Little mushroom guy with a face. Perfect. I love that. That's wonderful. I'm a big fan of that. This fight feels kind of useless because no matter what I do, I don't see this going well. Maybe the biggest problem here, as they go into a completely defensive position, maybe the biggest problem here is that, well, the biggest problem is that if I lose this fight, which I think I shall, I'm not really going to have an opportunity to rehire this hero until I get my castle. And if that happens, if I don't get my castle until next week, I'm up the creek without a paddle. I think that we're in a bad spot. Lord Shadowwing says this is a soldier giving a salute. Wonderful. Thrilled for it. Dawn says, heroic greetings, sire. Hello, Dawn. Very nice to have you here. Very nice to have everyone here, actually. Lovely folks here. Do you guys, I don't really know how it works. Do you guys upload your own, do you upload your own icons, your own emotes and things like that for Twitch? Or do you like pick them up from people you watch? I don't know how that works. Any insights there would be pretty interesting, because I could imagine that there's a lot of people out there that'll come up with some really fun stuff, some really fun emotes, or pictures in that case. These vampire lords we haven't touched, and I don't think that we will. It makes no sense to attack them at all to me, because if I do, any amount of damage I put onto these vampire lords is immediately going to get healed until I can actually focus them down. And so for that reason, I'm hoping I kill 2 liches there. I got close. Wasn't close enough, but we are out of champions. They're still going to have 10 vampire lords. Not looking good. We're going to try and keep the peasants together with these 10 master swordsmen. Well, I say that, and then this happens. Because they can actually do a little bit of damage. They truly can. They can do a little bit. We're going to kill 4 to 5 of these orcs. The vampire lords step up, and then we're going to get one nice hit off, and all the peasants died. I'm going to run. I've done about as good of damage as I can possibly do. We're going to call that a day and cost the enemy about 10 orcs and 5 of the liches. And Silverleaf, hopefully we can rehire before day 7. But folks, we are short on gold. We are short on ore. We are short on wood. We are missing lots of things right now. I don't know if this is going to be possible. We will see. We're going to take all rangers for now, because that's never going to be bad. And then I think I'm going to forego picking up just a few of these other troops. I know that we could probably stop by the Freeman's Foundry now if we wanted to, but we don't have a lot of gold anyway. We might as well head up, and we've got to find some wood. Actually, hold on. Let me step here on this observation tower. Do I see a sawmill? I do not see a sawmill. I don't see a sawmill. That's not good. Let's see. And so in my case, emotes are due to unexpected gifted subs. Okay, that makes sense. And so they're like a fun kind of like reward for watching people. That's nifty. Yeah, I didn't know that that's how that worked. But it makes a lot of sense. A group of rogues with a desire for greater glory wish to join you, except I do. That's going to be 35 rogues. I will take that. I see this artifact, the Nomads boots. Given that we already have the logistics, given that we already have the pathfinding, I'm going to go right through a pack of griffins, and I'm going to make no apologies for it. But I need wood. I am a 1 hero person until I can get some wood, and that feels really bad. Bammy says, closed formation is overshadowed because of not being super visible, but I think if one is to play as close to perfect as possible, they should be using it against flying neutral creatures in order to minimize losses, for example. So it's niche and bizarre, but it could really make a difference in certain situations. I do agree with that as well. And Bammy also says, bye, Silverleaf. Yeah, Silverleaf is so gone. And then that's another nifty little emote there. I like these. Those are fun. Your scouts bear ill tidings. The gateway which carried Silverleaf to the plains of Aekon also leads to the land of the Dothraki. With a magical bridge between your 2 distant kingdoms, conflict will come sooner rather than later. You must be ready and press whatever advantage you can gain. The Dothraki barbarians are powerful foes, and they will fight to the last warrior. Unless the FHeroes2 team has created a lovely ability for us to have the AI surrender, which I actually really, really like. I know there's some people recently on the FHeroes2 server, they were asking about it because it's just a new thing and it's something that they hadn't experienced before. And if you're not used to playing with it, I could see it being a bit of a struggle, but in general, I really, really enjoy the idea that a commander will not always let their troops die needlessly. They would instead say, no, we will surrender and we will try and, number one, save artifacts and keep them from you, but also they will do their very best to keep some of their men alive. There's no need to fight down to the last man if you don't have to. 240 experience there. Couldn't have saved the Rangers. Probably wasn't worth it to fight that fight for that little bit of experience, but we did. The Haunt spell, I hate this spell. No, nope, not my idea of a good time. I think that this is actually probably the best place that we can talk about the use of that closed positioning, by the way. We're going to do it right now. We're going to put the Rangers here. We're going to have all these 5-speed, 6-speed creatures. And as we attack these griffins, as we refight this fight, I'm just going to show you real quick. Oh, I didn't even put it on closed formation. My bad. But you can always hide your troops kind of like in this direction, here and here and here. And it would have been much easier to make that happen if I hadn't have just messed that up a little bit. Whoops. I'm going to put the rogues here. I don't know where the griffins are going to attack. Crusaders. Okay. And then from here I am just going to hit Q because I think it's pretty obvious what's going to come next. Yeah. Okay, but we're going to take our prize, which is the Nomads boots. A leprechaun offers you the Nomad boots of mobility for the small price of 3,000 gold and 5 gems. If you wish to buy this artifact, I do wish to buy this artifact. Aw, but I tried to pay the leprechaun and realized I can't afford it. Darn, the leprechaun stamps his foot and ignores you. My word. The haunt spell is, if I can't have this, mine, nobody can. Yeah, totally. And it's a really fun mechanic. It's a little bit difficult to use. It's really great on a pretty good hero if you can send them off into the middle of nowhere, like into the enemy's town or their terrain, and you can get a lot of wonderful things to happen there. If only you can stay alive long enough to haunt every single one of their minds. It does happen. I've seen it happen and be very successful. So that's what I'm going to plan on having happen in the future. We're going to go into a completely defensive position. I just don't want to lose any of these rangers if I don't have to. But otherwise I will let the rogues mix it up just a little bit, killing 7 and so on and so forth. Haunt spell is actually good because you can create an XP farm. You're absolutely right though. Vammy, if you want to explain that a little bit more, it's really one of my favorite things actually, to use the XP farm method with Haunt. We go for 375 experience, we save the Rangers, and we're going to pick up the Mercury. I am trending right towards these Nomads because I value these boots so much that I want to pick that up now and then go from there. And maybe, just maybe, we're going to run into a sawmill right in here. If it's down here, we are several days out of our way, and this might be a bad start just because of poor luck. I mean, it was already poor luck to get the Knights. I'm not saying I don't enjoy the Knights. I am saying that on this kind of map, not my first choice. Not my first choice. Month 1, week 2, day 1, and until we get wood, we can't buy anything. A letter comes from the Lady Arcadia's foster brother, Thurman. He is sending a ship full of supplies your way, which should arrive in less than 6 weeks. It contains the materials and plans for the cathedral you have dreamed of building. You pray that their vessel will have a swift and safe journey. If it doesn't, that's going to feel real bad. Let's kill these gentlemen here. And I think, knowing that Mage Guild is very, very far away, let's take the ballistics that can be useful right now, as we do pick up +1. And we're going to explore a little bit further just to see what else is here. I don't know what these trolls are guarding. One more step. One more step. Looks like it's just trolls and dwarves. I wonder if there's like a little bubble. I wonder if, like, if you step right here to attack the trolls, if you're going to get some kind of prize. That just seems a little too... That seems a little too interesting to me. But I definitely don't want to fight war trolls right now, so we're going to back off. Haunt XP. So you place a hero. You place a hero on the mine, you use the haunt, you fight the ghosts, and you fight them yourselves with the high level units. You earn the XP off of killing the ghosts, and then you repeat, and then you profit. Absolutely. To maximize the results, used with a hero with high spell power and knowledge, you can generate thousands of XP a day with a high magic hero. I completely agree. And if you do have the right troops for it, it can be very, very useful. I mean, right now in these ranges with 2 spell power, I think that's going to be like 50 experience a day. I can't imagine that ghosts, well, it's going to be like 60 because you get experience related to the number of creatures that you kill in XP. But I could see it being worthwhile, just not with this hero. Not with this hero. Okay, we are looking for a sawmill. We're going on a bear hunt. We're hoping we find it very soon. I'm hoping it's like just right there. If there's no wood, folks. Okay. Lean 2 for Fort Crystal. Gonna pick up some freebies here. This is bad. This is so bad. We can't even get another hero. We're gonna take, in this case, I think we take experience. Because we're gonna have enough gold anyway, I think that we take experience. We just hope that we can get the toughest hero ever. And I'm gonna take the estates here. More so than scouting, I'm gonna have to hope that this one hero can be so good that can carry us, whoops, to a victory later on. That's my only hope, I think. So we're taking all experience all the way, and shoot, there's elves. We're gonna go through the elves because I feel obligated to go this way. I don't wanna go all the way around. That's just too far for us to go. Should have gotten the wood bonus from the Price of Loyalty campaign. Yeah, seriously, that would have actually been lovely. But here's the problem. I mean, we don't even really have our ore mine, which is to the north. But because I don't have wood at all, I mean, what's the point in getting ore if I don't have wood? So either way, I'm kind of up the creek without a paddle. I don't think I could fight this fight any better. We do have a slow. We do have some spells. Let's see. Death Ripple is going to be just useless. Cure, slow, bless. We can hope for good morale. That's about it. That's about it. And so, you know, if I cast slow twice, that will save a little bit of damage, funny enough. Not a lot, but I'll cast it at the beginning of this turn and then at the beginning of the next turn. Oh, Grand Elves. Oh. That does change things a little bit, actually. Yeah, that'll work. If I had realized that these were Grand Elves, I would have done this a little bit different. I probably would have slowed somebody else. But we are grateful for the good morale. We are saving these Rangers. That is so big. I can't even tell you how big that is. We took exactly one shot on the Rangers when otherwise I was expecting to take 5 different hits. That was a big bit of morale luck. It's weird to call it luck when it's morale, but it's lucky to get good morale. Whew, that was chef's kiss. Only 2 Rangers go down in that fight. I was expecting there to be some serious losses. Now, here's an interesting one for you. Diplomacy. 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 I mean, it's diplomacy. Then again, this is literally an extra 250 gold per day. I think that if this was the difference between basic to advanced estates, I would take the diplomacy. As it stands, I think I feel obligated to take the expert estates. It's a lot of extra gold, and it's gonna line up. It's gonna be pretty good for us. What do you guys think? Would you all have taken the gold there, or would you have taken the diplomacy? Diplomacy, of course, has some extra bonuses attached with it. For example, you can not only just increase the amount of troops that come into your army, but you can also surrender for cheaper. So there's a little bit of flexibility with that as a secondary skill. But then again, gold is never bad. What say you all? More pointed swords are best for diplomacy. Don's a genius. With 3 spell power, 1k, Arcadia would generate 120 XP per full mana. There you go. So we're learning lots of new things about that strategy for the XP farming. It's kind of like the demon farming a little bit that you find in Heroes 3, maybe, where you take some calculated losses just to make some other nice stuff happen. As you force your way through the bitter cold, you happen upon a great discovery, the tomb of Fëndor, who was one of the chief generals under Krail Strongarm in the Demon Wars. You meet his descendants, who give you shelter from the storm. They also give you gifts, which you vow to use to honor their great ancestor. That's going to be the golden bow. That's going to be 10 crystal, 4,000 gold. That feels okay. That feels okay. And now I'm regretting not getting this wood up here, or the ore to the north, because now we're going to be a couple days further behind than I would have otherwise liked. But these things do happen. Okay. Okay. We got to get it all anyway. We will get it all anyway. So this little bit of wood is going to go a long way towards Phixfox having a much better day. Much better day. These orcs are so dead and they don't even realize it. They're awed by the power of our forces. They want to scatter. I think we talked earlier that the experience is not really going to be worth it. So let's just let them run. And this is 6 wood, 11 total, up to 20, up to 30. So 30 wood, boom, right there with a little bit more to be had. Unfortunately, I just missed the opportunity to do something very funny. There was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chunks of wood. And a sharp-eyed viewer in the King and Country map, the final scenario in that Price of Loyalty expansion map, he mentioned that when I found a big chunk of wood like that, I said, wood, 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 just like the song Thrift Shop by Macklemore. And he noticed it and he asked me if I did that on purpose. I did not, sir. But it made my entire week to see that comment and watch me accidentally get my first start as a new age rapper. So look for my hype mixtape coming in the near future. Like every unsuccessful musician, I will start on SoundCloud and we'll go from there. So We've got the opportunity to pick up some freebies along the way, not to mention these stables. I can't tell you how much these Nomads boots and this Pathfinding has done for us, not to mention the logistics. This has been, in a lot of ways, a bad start. In some ways, about as good as I could have hoped for. This 1,000 gold, we have so much gold right now, I think it's more important actually to just head north. Yeah, as much as I want 1,000 gold, I want ore and lots of it, even faster. This feels so bad to take such short turns and click so fast when I know that other enemies are getting massive amounts of good things. We're gonna go straight for these orcs. Oh, we'll fight them. 2 rangers, okay, fine. I'm not gonna labor over those decisions. That was 6 more ore, 7 more ore, 9 up to a total of 35 ore. And guess what we're gonna do with that? Finally, we're gonna be able to pick up another scout. We're gonna be able to pick up the opportunity to finally flesh out this town a little bit. We've got the resources, minus the ore. No, we've got the resources to get our crusaders. Our cathedral is coming up like tomorrow, basically. So thrilled for this quick start here. And now we will pick up this 1,000 gold from the windmill, or from the water wheel. Not bad, not bad. Boy, this map could have gone a lot differently if we had just known what we were up against. Is it too much to ask the Rangers to join us? Yes, it is. Let's see if we can fight this any better. I doubt it. And we will see... if it's been a good idea or a bad idea to stick these Crusaders at the top. It probably won't matter for now, but I generally like to keep my Rangers or whatever range creatures I have in the upper corner. That just feels like the best thing for me. We have no other spells that we can cast at this time. Let's just drop one single stack of these Rangers. And thankfully they're attacking Crusaders. I am A-okay with that. You can do that anytime you want. I wonder what goes into that decision making. Sure, the Crusaders are a huge threat, but you would think at some point that the AI would just decide that there's no possible way that they can win this fight, and then they're just going to do their best to hurt you as much as possible. In some ways I like that thinking when it comes to AI, and in some ways I don't. I don't like it if it's simply the AI saying, well, if I'm going down, I'm going to take you down with me, because that might not be how a computer or a person plays. But then again, that is in fact, if you know my family and a game of Monopoly or a game of Risk, that's exactly how my family plays. It's like, oh, you're the one that was going to beat me? Well, you're not going to win the game now, and I'm going to make sure of it. And that's a totally human reaction. Demon Cave. The entrance to the cave is dark and a foul, sulfurous smell issues from the cave's mouth. Will you enter? Yes, I shall. You find the powerful and grotesque demon in the cave. Today, it rasps, you will fight and surely die, but I will give you a choice of deaths. You may fight me, or you may fight my servants. Do you prefer to fight my servants? I do. I don't want to risk this on a 50-50 shot, especially when it's going to be free resources. Why not? This ore mine here feels critical. We're going to go through all these wolves. I mean, this is the second time that diplomacy has been offered. What are we missing, folks? On another note, I'm appreciative of being able to catch a live session. Lord Shadowwing says, I've been binging on YouTube. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. I'm to the point where I've got a fair amount of resources on YouTube. I imagine that it's several hours, several days worth of bingeable material. And it's really funny because if you start at the very beginning and you watch chronologically, you'll see that I've gotten much better in my presence and in the way that I play the game and I talk. I've improved a lot, and it's been really, really fun in that way for me. A lot of good people have taken the time to give me insights and help make me better at the game. I am going to take this diplomacy. It feels like I'm not missing anything too much, and especially with this golden bow, I'm not going to worry about taking the archery to remove the penalty when it comes to fighting castles. So I am going to take that this time. We're going to hope for the very, very best. Take the Diplo, Lord Shadowwing says. Oh, good. I'm glad that we agreed on that. I hadn't gotten down to checking that as I was making my decisions. We do pick up the Paladins, and I'd much rather have the Paladins / Crusaders over the Cavalries. It's all right. The only issue is that we're officially at month 1, week 4, day 1. We are so slow, and that doesn't feel great, but there's nowhere that we can go but up. Oh, this is stupendous. Pathfinding. Wonderful. This other gazebo is going to be useful for Ector, I hope. And then we are going to fight this graveyard here. especially with our 5 Crusaders who are going to do double damage against the undead, and plus all these rogues that can just take hits for me, we're going to fight 2,000 hit points worth of mutant zombies. We tentatively approach the burial ground of ancient warriors. Do you want to search the graves? Yes, I do. Ah, lovely. 2,000 experience and then some extras. Let's just make sure that the AI doesn't decide to send troops where they ought not to go. There definitely comes a point where the AI will be a little bit silly in its tactics, and all you gotta do is defend. And I'd prefer to make sure that if that's the case, that we stop there from being a problem. It looks like with the terrain here, the AI is gonna go all the way around. Yeah, and they're gonna snake through. This is gonna be pretty darn easy for us to fight. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where that does not hold true is when the undead or when these enemy troops are able to attack you on the next turn. So it looks like there's a strong probability, like that they're going to step up and try and attack us. And they did twice. So thankfully I chose right and I used the Rangers to attack the stack that was going to kill us. These Crusaders are going to have a field day with these mutant zombies in just about 1 second. Oh no, they can't reach. Oh no. Well, they're just going to wait then. Looks like this stack is going to go before or after this stack. And that's actually, or it goes before, so that's good. That means that this stack is not going to die to retaliations in just 1 second. I'm fine for everything that just happened there. That's perfectly fine. If you really think about it, diplomacy can be completely broken. I do agree, Lord Shadowwing. I know that in Heroes 3, people have optimized it to the point where it is more than just a little bit broken. It is bannable. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you use diplomacy? Well, that carries a penalty of a 30-day ban. Like, it's a big deal. So in Heroes 2, less so, but it can still be wonderful for you, especially for the knights when we've had a gold mine basically from day one. There's some really nice things we can do with that. Vammy says, if you got 5 Crusaders, then the Warlock player has probably gotten at least 1 dragon, and they've been fighting all the fights. You're totally right. As happy as I am with how I've cleared out this area, I'm sure that the enemy is doing much better at clearing out the enemy. Their starting areas, and I don't think that there's any way we can get around that. I definitely agree with that. There's nothing still to build here until I get the jousting arena. There's just nothing to do. I would love to get into this area. I don't know. Maybe there's a ship right here. Maybe there's a ship? We're gonna have to wait and see. I don't have enough information to make good decisions at this point. A ship arrives from the Selwyn Estates. Our Lady Beswyn honors Talonbur, the place of her birth, the captain says. She hopes that you will come to her island and meet her in person, so she may bequeath unto you great gifts and honors. I have brought you a small token of her affection from her home. You could have brought me everything. A small token is nice, but you didn't have to be so modest, sir. I would not have made a big deal about it, don't worry. I'm gonna head north. I don't know if there's something right here, and if there is, I'd like to take it out before there's any problems. I don't know if I'm ever gonna come back in this area, so I might as well come back now. Pathfinding, lovely. This could have been so much worse. I'm thrilled with how this has gone. By the way, there's an obelisk, so if we fall very, very far behind, the ultimate artifact can always be a way that we can gain some ground. So we do come upon the obelisk made from a type of stone we've never seen before. Staring at it intensely, the smooth surface suddenly changes to an inscription. The inscription is a piece of a lost ancient map. Quickly, you copy down the piece, and the inscription vanishes as abruptly as it has appeared. And by the way, I did get a comment a little while ago. Somebody mentioned that that they didn't really like reading all of these flavor texts. It was just not their favorite thing, but that it has grown on them over some time. And I've really enjoyed making sure that we are being very thorough in reading these flavor texts as much as possible. I tend to try and read at least one of them per game for each object. Sometimes I click right through it, but reading artifacts and reading these little flavor texts, it has actually enhanced my personal joy in the game as well, and that feels pretty a-okay. There's 2 boats. There's 2 boats. I mean, there's 2 boats. There's 1 and 2. I mean, do I feel obligated to go into the boat knowing that every bit of flavor text, plus that little bit from Beswyn, indicates that there's treasure to be had if only we will come and get it? I think so. I mean, I could send another hero several days up north to try and claim that. Like, I sure could. I don't know. I think that since we are right here, right now, I think I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to go into the boat. I'm going to hope that it turns out very, very well for us. But I recognize it could be a problem. If for no other reason, then we can land and take all this, which with our army, I know we can. I think that this is the right decision. This is the decision that I'm the happiest with. Lord Shadowwing says, love it. Screw the peasants. Though, if each peasant generated 1 gold per unit, that would be really good. I think that's how they work in Heroes 5. I know for sure that's how they work in Heroes 4. They might work like that in Heroes 5. And it's really stupendous. 25%, knowing that we're in snow, that's still going to be better for us, I think, just given our current situation. And really, it would make it so getting hundreds of peasants and just letting them stack up would be more than just a viable strategy. It'd be a lovely, wonderful strategy. And Vammy does confirm that, yes, they do in Heroes 5, that they do work like that. So, yeah, I think that there's... What, are you guys telling me that the peasants need a balance change? Like, really? Do we need to balance the peasants? Are they not the most balanced unit in the game? They could use a little bit of love. They could. I agree. Actually, I do. I don't know what was going through the developer's mind when they were making the Knight faction when it comes down to the peasants, because you just don't even consider the peasants. Like, they just don't factor into your plans ever. At all. Not one bit. They just don't matter. And I think that that's a little bit of a shame. I think that if I was personally going to design a game, I would make sure that everything at least had some functional ability. I'm not saying that it has to be good, right? But it has to have some functional ability. And 1 gold per day per peasant, if you could balance around that, I think that that would be a viable strat. Like, that would be viable. That would make some additional strategy. That would be interesting. It would set them apart from any other unit in the game. I'm just saying, like, from a game design perspective, just having a unit that is simply fodder doesn't intrigue me. It doesn't excite me. In the sense where people talk about decluttering their homes and they say, this one sparks joy and this one does not spark joy. And so then you get rid of whatever's in your home that doesn't spark joy. Yeah, the peasant doesn't spark joy in me. It sparks frustration, bewilderment, not sadness. I don't want to say sadness, but a little bit of, dude, what are you doing? Like, anything could have been better than nothing. Someday, Phixfox will stop ragging on the peasants and he's just going to let them live their best life. But not today. No, not today. Phixfox is out for blood today. Heroes 2 Crusaders and Cathedrals imply the existence of Heroes 2 Christianity, which implies the existence of Heroes 2 Jesus. Bambi says, yeah, and there's an awful lot of things that come with that if that's the case. So, I mean, that's a rabbit hole that there's an awful lot that we can go through with that if we so desire. Heroes of Might and Magic 2 Jesus. Although, I think that it was the Doom developers for the original Doom, the 1991 Doom. They indicated that, oh yeah, Doom guy is absolutely Catholic. And I was like, really? Huh. And so he's Catholic, he kills demons, and somebody else made the point that based off of all other known facts about Doom guy, he could technically run for Pope. I don't know if Doom guy is ever going to run for Pope. I don't know what the qualifications are in order to be Pope or not, but that's an interesting possibility. So anyway. The grateful citizens of the land of Talonber pay you tribute for their protection that you provide them. That's 5 wood, 5 ore, 5,000 gold. Lovely. I feel bad about that because I'm sure that the peasants have a lot that they would prefer to do other than give me all of their freebie resources. The peasants' functional ability is being turned into skeletons. That is a wonderful point of emphasis, actually. They are definitely a resource when you consider that. And then Mr. Epicliciousness says, peasants are actually great. They can get killed and resurrected to join a big stack of skeletons. Oops, I just saw you said the same thing as me. Yeah, but that's true though. It's all totally true. And this is why my chat is the best in the world, is because you guys are all thinking in a good way. So I'm for it. At first you fear that the blistering heat will set your ship ablaze, but you realize that the flow of lava is only an illusion. You have found the secret cove of fire. What mystery was this illusion set in place to conceal? I saw this and this weirded me out. And I'm glad that we can sail on this. There's a few maps that have been, dare I say, broken because of the FHeroes2 engine running, and it's fine. It's not a bad thing, but it's just kind of the reality of the situation. Some things don't work as intended. For example, I know in the Wizard's Land 2, because of the FHeroes2 engine, there's some gaps in the trees that are there that ought not to be there. In Thunk, there's a few places that you could dimension door where you weren't supposed to be able to, and that breaks the map, things like that. So, there's some interesting things. We just saw something terrifying. Ector needs to run because we saw a hero come out of here, and I'm guessing that they're going to make their way up north. We are in the wrong place if we want to actually defend our lands. Yeah, we're in a bad spot. I'm still going to continue in the boats. I'm going to send Vitania through the whirlpool. I want to keep Arcadia a little bit closer. I want to explore just a little bit more. I want to see what else we can find. And it doesn't hurt that finding tons and tons of wood everywhere feels all right. By the way, this spell scroll was set Fire Guardian. So now we have the choice between haunting a gold mine or setting a Fire Guardian. Now this is a good way of generating some free experience for you. 12 fire elementals per 3 spell power. That's going to go a little bit of a ways. And right now we can only cast it once, but as soon as we get one more bit of knowledge, we're going to be doing even better. Bammy says, you'll get the ability to balance the peasants when we get the FHeroes2 modding support. Yes, and so Bammy is completely correct, and there will be modding support for FHeroes2 in the, I don't know how soon. I don't know what the timetable is for that, but I'm pretty excited for that. I think that there's going to be a lot of people who do some very wonderful things. I'm very excited to see what people do with that modding support. We are here. Where here is, I don't really know. I'm going to just see if this whirlpool goes anywhere else. The whirlpool has engulfed some of our friends. We did split off that one single sprite. We did lose that one single sprite. Let's make sure that if we lose anybody else, it's just going to be one sprite at a time. Again. And once again, we lose one more sprite, which is better than losing half of your army. I think that's quite probable that this whirlpool is the only one based off of what we're seeing. We're going to do this one more time. That was amazing luck! 3 times in a row. Did you see that? 3 times in a row. We got the 33% chance that our troops were going to fall overboard, and they did. Crazy. Dead tree, stone liths. There's some stuff over here. I don't want to land for fear that we're going to, well, run into something bad. Lots of Medusa. There's plenty more that a hero with navigation can explore. And so we're going to let Vitania stay away, stay up and about. We're going to sail a little bit further down the coast and then probably just land right here. Lots of fire elementals. Those guys look like experience to me, and maybe there's something nifty on this island. That's my hope anyway. But yeah, I'm looking very, very much forward to the FHeroes2 modding support. I think you're going to see a lot of good balance changes from people. I think it's going to make some very, very interesting things happen. And I think you're going to see the opportunity for people to create some new creatures. I know that there's plenty of people who can do some nifty artwork out there. And I think there's going to be options for somebody if they really want to make some very epic stories in Heroes 2 and they like the FHeroes2 engine, which I do. So maybe other people do as well. A traveler comes to you from the Oracle of Cassandra. Heed my words, my lord. Remember the names of the warriors who came before you in the Age of Heroes. By honoring them, you have a chance for great power. Heed my words, my lord. Remember the names of the warriors who came before you. So far, we've heard of Selwyn Baselord? Selwyn somebody, anyway. And I can't think of anybody else. Selwyn is pretty much the only person whose name I remembered, but we'll go with that. I think I'm okay with these losses, but I'll fight this anyway. Who knows? Master Swordsman could be useful. I don't think you can attack your own elementals because you keep the mind, I'm pretty sure, but not sure because I never used the spell. You're totally right, actually. You keep the mind, and so you cannot fight what is essentially neutral creatures. I did miss out on that. You're totally right. So I had theorized that you could use the fire elementals as experience, like we had talked about with the ghosts in farming experience, and I agree with you. I think that you've spoken truth, and yeah, I'm with you now. I will withdraw that belief, and we're just gonna say that you sure can't. Even if you can, and later we find out you can, yeah, we're just gonna say you can't. We're gonna lose a ton of rogues here. That was a mistake, but then again, I think that the rogues have basically, I mean, this is why I have the rogues. I have the rogues here so that they can just get hit really, really hard, once or twice. It looks like the Crusaders are gonna kill a whole stack here in just 1 second. Oh gosh. We're tripping all over ourselves. We're down to 16 rogues. This might be the last time we keep any rogues here. From here on out, I think we're just going to... We might even dismiss them in case somebody wants to join us. A little bit tough because any troops are better than no troops, but meh, you know. Leadership over wisdom, I feel like that's not a bad decision. And now we should be up to full morale. We keep the rogues or not. Maybe fire elementals will want to join me. I'm going to get rid of some rogues just on the off chance that something nifty happens here. So remember the names of the warriors that came before you. This will be on this. This will be on the test. Yes, Vammy, absolutely, that's going to be on the test. I'm sure that there will be a Sphinx. I think that that's a very apt observation. And then how does a sprite fall overboard? How does a dragon fall overboard? I've seen a dragon fall overboard, and nothing has made me more upset than that. It just how? Flummoxed is perhaps the best word for it. You had one job to do with your wings, and that was to stay alive, and you couldn't even do that. No. It looks like our decision to get rid of the rogues is not going to be very useful for us. So be it. If we get one more instance of good morale, though, it'll be fine. And just as long as I don't lose a single champion, I'm really not going to be too sad. Creatures go. Tons of damage. We got 43 hit points, 22. I don't think I'm going to lose a swordsman here. Let's see. With the good morale, I definitely feel vindicated in that choice. I think that the fire elementals are going to step up. They do. We're going to kill this slowed stack. And just let the Crusaders have a field day. Wonderful. 1480. There's a show in America called Forged in Fire where these amateur blacksmiths come together and they try and forge some lovely weapons, and they do a pretty good job of it. But there are times where during the tests there'll be a problem, like the blade wasn't tempered correctly, or there was an issue in the cutting power or something. Like, stuff happens, and you can't guarantee that every blade's going to turn out perfectly every time. I guess. I don't know. I don't do blacksmithing. I do a little bit of flint napping, but that's it. And one of the guys, he will always say during the test, it will kill or it won't kill. And especially if there's a problem in the testing, they say, your blade has suffered a catastrophic failure. Thankfully, my Crusaders did not suffer a catastrophic failure when they just used their big claymore to try and do some major, major damage. The guy is definitely saying it will kill, and much like the people on that Forged in Fire show, he is taking big chunks out of, in this case, an elemental carcass instead of a pig carcass. But if you can make a sword that can survive hacking a pig in half, you're pretty good at blacksmithing, I think. Fire summoning altar. Beneath a structure that serves to hold in heat, fire elementals move about in a fiery pool of molten lava. A group of them approach you and offer their services. Would you like to recruit fire elementals? Yes, I would. I think I've got so much gold. Look at this. I've got 47,000 gold. Yeah, I think I can afford to spend a little bit here. And we're going to lose one of those fire elementals. It's going to be fine for me. Navigation. We talked about how navigation might be useful. This might be one of the few times I take navigation. What am I missing? You got wisdom. You got pathfinding. You got logistics. You've got leadership. We could get luck, right? Luck could be useful. Kind of unlikely to get, though. I can't think of any other secondary skill that I would really love. Like, I've got the ones I have to have. And so I think that on this map, it actually makes sense to go with the navigation. We have advanced leadership, expert ballistics, basic wisdom, advanced pathfinding, expert estates, advanced logistics, basic diplomacy. I don't think that the archery is going to be critically important. We're doing it. We're taking navigation. Okay. And I feel good about that decision. Very rarely do I feel good about that kind of decision, but I'm going to feel good about it today. Lord Shadowwing, I love the show Forged in Fire. I remember the episode where one of the guys said something along the lines of, "This is forged in fire, not ground at the belt." Yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah, it's a really fun show. And I think that one of the best things about it is the participants that they get on that show. Hi there, my name is Phixfox and welcome back to Heroes of Might and Magic 2. This is going to be a bonus stream that we're going to get to do here today. This is going to be a continuation of our Plains of Aekon playthrough that we started yesterday. Unfortunately, we had to quit. Everything got cut off due to some technical issues. I think we have a solution moving forward. There should not be any more problems. Basically, my computer just got too hot and said, "I quit." And who am I to tell the computer that it should not continue when it's under such duress? So with that being said, let me give you just a couple minutes of getting us back up to speed about where we're at, and then we'll just play from there. We are unfortunately going to have to reload from the last autosave, and this was the previous autosave. We started off in the upper right in the castle of Talonburr. Hi Pax, how are you doing? Nice to see you there. Pax and Lord Shadowwing are here in the chat. We started off in Talonburr in the upper right corner. We rolled the Knight faction. This map is an extra large map with 6 players. The wizards, as the blue players, have already been defeated by someone. It wasn't me. And then we also have the green sorceresses, the red necromancers, the yellow barbarians, and the purple warlocks that we have to contend with. This indicates that each side has a single stronghold and the resources are scarce, but in the very, very center, there is a real power on top of these sinewy seas. The Plains of Aekon are here in the very center, and I believe that it's accessible by these stone liths. We have this stone lith that we more or less share with, I believe, the Barbarians here in the swamp, and then I assume that every other domain has some access to the very center through their own set of stone liths. We have trudged through the snow. We had a very, very slow start, but thankfully we were able to get out onto the ocean, and we have done an excellent job in procuring plenty of artifacts with our primary hero of Arcadia. Arcadia is the level knight who is level 15, 7 attack, 7 defense, 13 spell power, 9 knowledge, and a fistful of artifacts. All of these are pretty good artifacts. There's a few that I would like to get rid of. We've already run into one situation where we would have preferred the +3 to our spell power, but we did not pick that up because, unfortunately, we had a snake ring. It's a good artifact, it's just not the very best thing, especially when we consider the benefit of 3+ spell power. So Arcadia is our primary hero. We have Hector as a level 3 hero, just picking up some freebies for us while we are away. Batania is our astrolabe sea explorer de facto. She has done a wonderful job by picking up the Magellan's maps, and now we can see exactly what we have to conquer, and we can see enemies long before they get to us. I do believe that the enemies have probably also gotten the Magellan's maps, and so they're going to be seeing us coming from a long ways as well. Lord Kilburn is a doorstop here to our land, and then Charity has since landed from this whirlpool. So lots of heroes out on the map, and so much of the map still to be uncovered and discovered. Let's explore just a little bit. Lord Shadowwing says, "Just had a question pop into my head. Is the map Full House on your list of maps to play?" It is. If I am aware, Full House is a map where it is, I believe, 6 players, and I think that the description reads something like, each of your enemies starts off with 5 castles, but so do you. How could you possibly lose with 5 castles? Well, everybody starts off with 5 castles, and it's really a knockdown, drag-out fight. You really need to prioritize your economy very, very well. We're going to see exactly how well we can do once we get to Full House. I wouldn't say it's a litmus test as far as how effective you can be, but it is a pretty good map. Hey Apo, how you doing? Very nice to see you there. We do have Evenstar, who looks to be the green special hero. They have landed here on this beach. Unfortunately, because of the overheating issues last time, I know better than to walk this way and then not get back to my boat. I want to make sure that she kills me in my boat. I can't get away. And so Charity is immediately going to go back into the boat, so that way when we are attacked, it will scuttle, and then this whirlpool is not going to take the enemy back to our hometown. That's what I wanted to do last time. Unfortunately, I just messed up on my movement, and for better or for worse, we get a little bit of a do-over. By the way, folks, a Saturday stream, not a usual thing for me, but I'm grateful for the opportunity. It just kind of popped open. I don't know how often we're going to get to do multiple streams throughout the week. Unfortunately, it's kind of one of those times where you just happen to find that the time arises and there's not a lot of heads up notification, but all the same, I'm grateful when people take the time to log on, even if there's really just a short little bit of heads up notice. We do have Arcadia with tons and tons of mobility by sea. We've got 22 Crusaders at home. I would love the idea of setting sail and taking things like this jail, picking up wonderful things like this, if only I can find the blue barrier, maybe landing and trying to take out some major enemy. But I think that if I just head home for now, I'll be able to consolidate my forces and then really be an absolute terror upon the enemies. And so for that reason, I'm going to head out in this direction. I'm going to head back to this area that's already been cleared out so that we can have someone else resupply from our main castle. It's going to be, it looks like, Ambrose as a level 2 knight who already does have the wisdom. He is going to get purchased. We're going to drop off the peasants because nobody likes peasants. Okay, I'm sure that somebody likes the peasants, but not me. And then we're going to take the time to purchase basically everybody else here. And thankfully we have so much gold so we can make that happen. And then we do have stables and the Freeman's Foundry. It's going to be a little bit of a side quest here for us, but we are going to pick up these and so we can upgrade our troops for free. Lord Shadowwing, I just hope that the box fan blowing into the computer helps. Yeah, I do have a laptop pad that is supposed to heat or cool from the bottom and blow some extra air in there. And it is very necessary. It does get very warm in this room. But it was plugged in last time, but the wall charger, the box, I guess failed on me. And so then we lost our ability to cool our computer. And so it was really a bit of a shame. I hate to just drop people in the very middle of a stream, but that was the case in that point. And I do appreciate your patience as we move forward here, and happy that we can pick up no later than 24 hours later. Vammy says hello everyone. Vammy, very nice to have you here. I think that there's probably plenty of archers here, but I don't really have time to wait. I think that this timing with Arcadia is going to be pretty quick. And I'm hoping that Arcadia doesn't really have to land for too long. It's probable that they are going to have to stick around for a moment anyway, just waiting for the troops to get to the shoreline. But I think that my plan, knowing that the blue wizards have already been defeated, I think that my plan is that I would like to go into their lands. And I do believe that we indicated that we thought that they're either here in the volcano territory or here in the cracked earth, because just of the proximity of their main hero. It just leads me to believe that they're in the bottom right. And so for that reason, I think that we're going to set sail, trying to go towards the bottom right and maybe trade up. The Knight faction's very good in a lot of ways, but really their strength comes in the early game. I don't think that 20-some Crusaders is actually going to be the very best thing to beat dragons and titans. So let's trade up, use these forces, and actually get some of those better 6th tier creatures. That is my plan. By the way, it's Saturday. What's everybody doing with their day off? Or maybe it's not your day off. Maybe you're on your phone at work. Maybe you're in the garden. Maybe you're spending time with friends and family. I hope that if you are spending time with friends and family, that you actually put down the phone. I think that they're a little bit more important than this is. I do appreciate the support, but I do want you to put your money where your mouth is and spend time with the people that matter the most. We're gonna get, it looks like, to just about this far. And so landing looks like it's gonna be the best thing for us, just to make this handoff as smooth as possible. But once we do, we'll start heading south. And by the way, there's been many indications that this is a very much lore-filled map. We talked about this prison that was here. There are a few names that are very important. There was an indication that we're going to need to remember the names of the heroes of might and magic that came before us, so that way we can potentially claim some great reward. We have taken pictures of who those heroes' names are, so that way if we run across a Sphinx, we can hopefully pass that challenge. I know it's kind of like going into a test and having all the answers on a little cheat sheet, but all the same, it seems like the very best thing for me. I would hate to lose a main hero just because we didn't take the time to do everything we could to be successful. There is an obelisk on the map as well. We're going to see if we can find that ultimate artifact, and then let's start to move some of these artifacts. Lord Shadowwing, I remember something that I read correctly. I believe that the FHeroes2 team is working on a way to generate random maps using starting a new game, like Heroes 3 has the option to do. I do believe that that is the case as well. And I know that there are some, I don't want to say issues with that, but it's a challenge. You have to find good algorithms. You have to make some reasonable decisions as far as what will and will not go into that map generation. I mean, once it's done, it's beautiful, it's wonderful. But I imagine that you can't simply copy and paste what's been done for Heroes 3, for example. And so they're going to have their work cut out for them, and I think that they are up to the challenge. They have proven to me that they are very, very good when it comes down to programming and making things work flawlessly. And I love their design philosophy, and that is that it'll be done when it's done, and you can't rush perfection. Can you ask for better? Because it will be done when it's done. And that perfection, it will be great once it is there. So I'm excited for that. Keon, hey, I came to Twitch just to catch you live. Otherwise, I always watch the YouTube videos. Hope you and everyone in chat is feeling good tonight. Keon, thank you so much for stopping in. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thrilled to have you here. Yeah, and I've appreciated many of your comments on YouTube. So thank you so much for taking the time. It's a fun crowd. I do say all the time that I've got one of the smartest chats in the world. And I do mean it when I say that Heroes of Might and Magic brings together some of the best and brightest minds. So happy that we get to have you here as part of that. We do see orange, or excuse me, I believe it's yellow actually, is in this upper left corner. They are going to take this gold mine for me. I should have killed Sabu when I had the chance. He has been a thorn in my side. And someday we're going to eliminate him, but for now, we're just going to have to suffer. This whirlpool has been devious. We had probably 4 times in a row that we got the 1 out of 3 chance to lose half your troops in this first stack. And so I'm a little bit shy about going through this whirlpool. This aqua tent is good. I just need to send enough of an army that we can defeat Medusa there. For now, we're going to ignore that. We're just going to sail south. This looks too good for me to pass up. And so I shall head for this, what, 3? 1, 2, 3 plus 1s. Unless it looks like it's going to take me 3 turns to land and get there. That's going to be just a little bit too far. We're gonna carry on. We will come back to that later. How about? It's tough because +3 defense is so good, but you got to be smart. You have to be smart. The Oracle of Cassandra. Heed the visions and wisdom of those who see the future. Ooh. We do have the Oracle. For the very first time, we're going to get to see the strengths and weaknesses of all of our opponents here. Nestled among the trees sits a blind seer. After you explain the intent of your journey, the seer activates his crystal ball, allowing you to see the strengths and weaknesses of your opponents. Winnie Maru says hello there. Hello, Winnie Maru. Very nice to see you there. Thrilled to see you there. I'm so sorry. I have not gotten that video that we talked about posted, but it is ready to go. Unfortunately, work has been just a little bit crazy for me, but we will get these things done. Fear not. Every video will be done in time. So, with only 5 of us here, green, red, yellow, orange, and purple. It looks like purple is #1 in income. It looks like purple is #1 in Kingdom Army strength. And we just purchased all of our troops, and somehow we are in second. The Knights are second. Here's my worry. If purple is #1 in income, I wonder if they were the ones who defeated the Wizards. And if the purple player now has Black Dragons and Titans, we're in trouble. 2 attack, 2 defense, sure, you're not really backing them up very well. I do have a certain advantage, but I'm using sticks and stones against a fire breath attack and lightning. That's not gonna go very well for me. I do feel like now is the best time for me to attack purple and hope that we can win the day. That's my plan. We do have the most artifacts. We've been very active on the board. Resources, we're fairly low on all of these, and surprisingly, we are tied for last in heroes. So lots of heroes are out on the map. Purple does have 1 more castle than everyone else, yes. So it is purple that did defeat the Wizards. So purple, you are #1 on my list. Rather than try and defeat all these other smaller heroes and then roll into you, we are coming for you directly. Are there any heroes that I'm a little bit scared of? It looks like Red's hero is pretty tough. The Necromancers, it seems, with 11 power, 6 knowledge, and 5 attack. Little worrisome. Little worrisome. But everybody's got their 6th tier creatures 2 months in. Let's see what we can make happen. Lord Shadowwing, Apo says it's a sushi cat. That's a good looking, it's definitely, I can't tell if that's a cat or a dog, but whatever it is, it does seem to be in 3 parts. Beswin Selwine, the leader of the armies in the Demon Wars during the Age of Heroes, greets you. Welcome to my home, she says. You fight a war now for control of a land that I helped save from an invasion of demons. I only hope that you will demonstrate both the strength and wisdom to rule wisely if you win. I wish she would give me more than that. I was told that if I showed up in her territory that she would actually give me something fun, like an artifact or something cool. And so far, nothing? I'm shook. I feel like I've been slighted here. I feel like I need a little bit of support here. If you want to say, oh, you're going to do a great job. Okay, well, thank you for the kind words of encouragement there. But I could also use, I don't know, a breastplate of Andrin, for example. Anything would be lovely. Otherwise, heroes here on the map. Ooh, Sabu is, well, he's got his own summoned boat. They summoned his boat away, and then he summoned his own back. This is a grateful bit of our friends here. They have given us what means they have in order to support the cause. I feel bad because if the peasantry is giving me any of their valuables, I'm sure that they could have used those much better than I could. Much better. Winnie Morrow, no rush. Cool to see you live. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your understanding. I sincerely appreciate that. And then Lord Shadowwing, I think it's supposed to be a fox. It's from a sub for a fox-based VTuber. Oh, fun. Yeah, I think Winnie Morrow, we were discussing different emotes, by the way, and everyone has decided that the Phixfox emote that you gave me, the pixel art, is going to be one of our emotes on the channel just as soon as I get those uploaded. So just so you're aware, that gift is going to be used very, very well. So thank you very much. We're looking forward to having that here for some custom emotes for the channel. The Selwine Estates, established by Beswin Selwine, the legendary leader who repelled the demon invasion during the Age of Heroes. Cool, cool. Beswin Selwine greets you. I was born and raised in Talonbur. Though I am honor-bound to refrain from interfering personally in the struggle, I am still able to give you a special gift. Take these treasures and use them well. I know that you shall rule with honor and dignity that have always been cherished in my beloved home. That's 10 of each resource, 10,000 gold, and the Holy Hammer for the +5. That is lovely. Goodness gracious. Okay, so thankfully, we're not too far away from this area, and now that I know that there's 3 of these Xanadu's, we're level 15. This is too many stats to pass up. We must land. That is a big bonus there. And I think that knowing that we just walked right here, we're gonna walk around as much as we can just to make sure there's nothing else, like her kid or something that says, hey, by the way, take this. It'll come in handy. Any freebie treasure we're gonna want every bit a part of. What a fun map. I love maps that have lore and stories, and this map is going ham right now. I can't wait to see what else is here because it's an interesting map already. You have your own landmass, you have one dimension door, but you also have ways that the enemy can get to you anyway. Your kingdom is accessible by the sea. However, you also have this middle ground with the plains of Aekon in the center. You have a struggle for resources. This is an interesting map even without all of the bonus story elements, but I am thrilled for the elements that we have here. The population of the druids have doubled. As you can see, this little stack here of lots of druids, that is brand new to us. So looking forward to losing many of our troops to many of these druids. I never knew the 3 Andrin artifacts combined into that cool Hero's Shield. Was cool to see. Yeah, Heroes of Might and Magic 3 has many combinable artifacts, and Heroes of Might and Magic 2, this was in the Price of Loyalty the first time that combinable artifacts were introduced to the series. Of course, they used those an awful lot in Heroes 3 and beyond, but a great mechanic. The idea that you can find multiple components to make one big, bad, awesome artifact is so cool. I love it. Beswin Selwine comes to you again. I have been watching you since you came to this place, she says, and I think perhaps that you have the strength and wisdom to be a good ruler of this land. Take this great artifact and my blessing, and remember the names of the heroes who came before you. Another indication to remember the names of the heroes who came before us. There's got to be something. there's going to be something that's going to be so very good for us, and we just have to find it. Where this will be on the adventure map, I don't know, but we're going to find it. I don't know who's better right now, Ambrose level 2 or Ector level 3. I think that Ector does have the Pathfinding. He does. And so I'm going to have Ector trade spots with Ambrose. We're going to pick up all of these troops, and we're actually going to end up leaving, let's see. We're going to leave the pikemen in favor of Ambrose's fire elementals. There are lots of druids here. What a bad place for you. We're going to pick up a spell book, lightning bolt, summon boat, animate dead, mass dispel. Not bad. And this should be a pretty winnable fight with our 43 rangers. Let's see if we can do better. I hate to lose any of these forces, but it's a real shame when you do. Oh, great news. It's an honor to participate in the channel. Winnie Morrow, I appreciate your input so very much, and I appreciate all the help. You've been a terrific person, and I'm grateful that we get to trade some fun stuff back and forth, though. So if you haven't seen Winnie Morrow, if you haven't checked out his things, he is on YouTube, he's on Twitch, he does lots of different games. He does Fable, is it Fable or Fable Haven, for example? He does Heroes of Might and Magic. Good strategist, an excellent strategist. So if you like the strategy games and that aspect of playing, then he's your guy. So I generally watch him with subtitles on English for YouTube. And so if you don't speak French, there are ways to get around the language barrier. So go check him out. Big fan of him. And then Lord Shadowwing, here's to hoping you can become a Twitch affiliate. And this is a good question, actually. I don't know if being a Twitch affiliate, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because on the one hand, it's kind of cool because, hey, look, I did something great. But my understanding is that it means that there's going to be ads, and I don't really like ads. And so I would hate to subject them to you. Granted, I know people are happy to watch 30 seconds just so that they can get in, but I do worry that maybe somebody who's never been here to the channel before might see an ad and then they might not click on. So I don't know if there's pluses and minuses to that or not, but if we get to Twitch affiliate, all we really need at this point, we're averaging like 10 viewers a stream. We've got 50 some followers. I think that we meet all the requirements. The only thing I have to do is stream more often than once a week, which maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. We'll see. But hey, I just like playing Heroes, and I'm really proud of how well the YouTube channel has done. I'm grateful when people take the time to say, hey, it's been fun to see you on there, and provide me some insights and feedback. There's been a lot of growth on the YouTube channel that I've been very, very appreciative of. Twitch is just another fun way that I get to connect with everybody here. Oh no, Brother Seth. Lots of griffins, lots of Minotaur kings, a few of the black dragons, several of the red dragons, and a pack of hydras. You have landed, and I'm sending my armies in the wrong way. What this means, though, is this might be the perfect time to abandon ship. What have we really done here? We didn't really upgrade this castle a whole ton. We may just trade. If we know that your main forces are here on my island, I think that we should either consider landing to pick up these stats, or we should just take the artifacts and rush right over here. I think that both are viable strategies. If we don't land, it's going to take us 3 days to land in the same place that he set sail from. I don't know. I am going to just make sure that Vitania can get here. It looks like she can. And I am going to wait. This is going to be a +3 to each of our stats. That's massive. But I think that with this timing attack, we see that we have some opportunities that we just cannot pass up. We're going to have so few artifact slots, but these artifacts are so good. The luck is even nice, just so we have the opportunity to get luck occasionally. I do like the lightning helm, even though it's a little bit situational. I love this chain lightning. I'm not getting rid of that chain lightning scroll. I think I like this just the way it is. And the wizard's hat is not bad, but with 15 spell power, that's not going to do it for me. So Vitania is going to get back into her boat, and we're going to call this a day as Arcadia sets sail. And we're going to see if the enemy turns around and tries to get us or not. Maybe they're going to see us coming and they're going to get back into their boats, and maybe not. The big bonus with affiliate is that viewers can donate via bits. It's easier for most viewers to be able to donate like that. That makes sense. And so I think that bits are the standard Twitch money. It's like Disneyland money, where you trade in your real money for Disneyland money. And that makes a lot of sense. I tell you what, one of the things that really bothered me when I was looking, people asked for a way that they could donate if they were interested in supporting the channel. And I have since come out with a PayPal, and there's links on YouTube, and there's links on Twitch. But the thing I first looked at was a couple of different other options. And for example, Patreon didn't feel right because it's a subscription. And so I can't guarantee that I'm going to give exclusive content strictly for the Patreon. I mean, do you want me to take a picture of my setup so we can talk about it? I mean, we could. I can make users, I can make Patreon specific videos and so on and so forth. But it's a subscription. And if you're looking for just like a one-time donation, that doesn't quite fit the bill. You know what I'm saying? And then I looked at a couple of other options. I'm not going to say which ones, but I was very distraught to see that there was very little privacy for other people. I could potentially see who they were. I could see your credit card, like basic information. And I didn't feel comfortable doing that option. And so ultimately what we've gone to is a PayPal business account. But being able to use maybe Twitch bits, maybe that could be useful too. I don't know. I'm still so new to this. I'm just happy to be here, folks. I'm just happy to be here. And so, quite frankly, at this point in my life, if somebody donated something to me, am I going to go out and buy a Lamborghini? No. You know what I'm buying? Baby formula. I'm buying a new stroller. You know, I'm buying a playpen because that's the kind of stage I am at in my life, and loving every bit of it. My kiddo is being a real sweetheart right now, and he's a little bit confused. We might have confused him because mom and dad were kind of hoping for a baby boy, or excuse me, a baby girl. We have the one boy. We were hoping for a baby girl, and that didn't happen. And maybe my son picked up on those vibes. And so every time he talks about the baby, he says, "Oh, baby sister." And we're like, "No, it's a baby brother." It's pretty obvious at this point. But it's just really cute to get to have my kiddo be excited for his upcoming sibling. And it's just, I'm in a great time of my life. I'm in a great stage of my life where my kids are fun and more to come, and it's a good time. Things are good. Don, heroic greetings to you as well. Thrilled to have you here, sir. Very, very appreciative. Lord Shadowing, I'm ecstatic to be able to watch and interact with you. This is great. This is super good. And I appreciate having the input. I'll tell you, at this point, we've done hundreds of hours of Heroes 2 videos, and you've kind of heard my shtick. You've kind of heard my spiel. Part of my process at this point, my prep work that goes into these videos, is researching fun topics so that we can potentially talk about it. So that way I can potentially entertain and be entertained, right? So when other people are interacting and watching, I appreciate that, because then I get to have new things, and I get to hear from you and hear about the things that matter to you. I get to learn. There's a lot of fun things that are going on right now. I have no idea what to do with Vitania. She's done her job. She's explored. Maybe I can have her land on an island somewhere, but in general, she's done everything I've asked her to do. And so let's just pick up this lighthouse and play this fun game where Sabu the Barbarian, wherever he may be, we just steal his stuff and he steals our stuff. Let's do that. Brother Seth is continuing to go north. I wonder if he's going to turn right around and attack me in just a moment. I don't know, but he might. I don't know if this is passable terrain right here. It makes no sense that you have to land to pick up 2,000 experience, but if I have to land and then I have to get back into the boat to go all the way around, I'll feel really dumb. And so I'm going to play it safe, and I'm going to land in the spot where I'm sure that there is a path to victory. And I'm actually kind of hoping that Brother Seth turns around. I do hope. Sounds crazy, but I do hope that he turns around. We will see if we're lucky or not. Winnie Morrow, thanks for the publicity. I regularly talk about your channel with great pleasure. It's rare to see content on Heroes 2. I totally agree. I love Heroes 2 content, and it's kind of hard to come by. And I find that calm tone that you use and the way that you detail your thoughts is super pleasant to follow. That is such a great compliment. I worry that you've heard my spiel, you've heard my thoughts several times, and yet it's nice to know that there's still some value. It's still maybe the best compliment I've ever received is people that say that they fall asleep to my videos. And then it makes me feel bad whenever I go wild and crazy and scream because something exciting happened. It does happen, but Heroes of Might and Magic is supposed to be a relaxing game. This is supposed to be a fun, nice, chill time. And so hopefully those are the vibes that we are able to convey, because I think that everybody enjoys a nice, calm, relaxing, fun game of Heroes of Might and Magic 2. Dawn says, the artifact that you are wearing. The epic headband of stripes gives you +2 for viewer appreciation. That is super sweet. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that, Dawn. Yeah, somebody asked, who was it? It might have been Elliot asked, probably in the Seven Lakes playthrough. They asked, hey, so why do you wear the headband? What's the story behind the headband? And I said a lot, but I don't think I said everything about it. I mentioned that I got it from someone who at first wasn't really the best of friends with me, but we grew to appreciate each other very, very much. And it was something of a peace offering gift. It was a real sweet gesture to show that we were on the same page and we were good with each other. And I haven't spoken to that individual in quite some time, but every time I do run into them, it does make for a good moment. And so, yeah, this headband was a gift, and I'm grateful for what it means. Oh, buddy. Idol, and observation tower. I see 2 idols stacked on top of each other, and I can't help but wonder if it's similar to this. I think that we might have found a castle, and it looks like it is the Warlock Castle of Shantak. There has to be dragons here. Folks, there be dragons. And Brother Seth may take my Crusaders. Oh no, I'm so sad. But I am definitely getting the better end of this deal. I will trade Black Dragons for Crusaders all day, any day. I am, though, before anything bad happens, I'm going to rehire Vitania. I do want her to escape, not necessarily with these troops. The troops don't really bother me one way or the other. What really matters is that she does have that astrolabe, and she is the best seafaring hero. Resupplying logistically by the sea makes more sense to me than trying to resupply via land or via stone liths in the very center. And so we're going to do that. We're going to resupply in a different way. Horde of Wolves, for +2 wood a day, you better do that. So let's fight this fight again. Keon says, I call it the ultimate headband of Phixfox. Tell you what, all right, if you guys are interested, okay, here's my plan. When we hit probably like 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, because I think at this point it's going to happen. When we hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, I'm going to hold a giveaway, and we're going to make sure that if you want a Phixfox headband, I'm going to have a supply of them. I'm going to send one lucky person their own Phixfox headband, just like this one. I'm going to make available headbands if you want them. I'm just going to try and sell them at cost, kind of a deal. Just whatever it costs me, I'm just going to make sure you get one. And so that way we can all have a big party, having some wonderful Phixfox headbands. They're so good that I can't possibly just have them on my own. I need everybody to enjoy these. Let's see. Would blinding a wolf help? I don't have a blind, but I do have the slow, Lord Shadowwing. I think that probably slowing this big stack of 17 is going to be the most useful thing. These Crusaders are going to get a nice shot off. Maybe the Rangers also do something wonderful here. How much retaliation did the first stack of wolves give me? Let's see. Crusaders do 100 damage, 5 wolves perish, and wolves only did 4 damage on the return? That can't possibly be right. But is it likely that they're going to do 12 damage each? If I kill 5 here, probably not. We're going to risk it. This is a bad idea, but we're going to risk it. And it did come back to bite me. Literally. And so we did lose 1 Crusader there. That was playing with fire. In my heart, I knew I shouldn't do that. I knew that the margins were too slim. And it got me. Phixfox, you had one job. Everybody gets in, everybody gets out. It's like that movie Saving Private Ryan. Although it is always a little surprising to me when people like that, as we pick up Jezebel because she's such a good hero, when people go on these rescue missions and so many more people unfortunately die than than however many people you were trying to save. Those kinds of stories always do make me pretty sad because it does happen a lot. There was a football player, and he was famous. Oh, there was a famous football player. Who was it? I gotta Google it real quick. I'm so sorry. Let's see, famous football player. Let's see. He was a running back. It was Joe Delaney. It was Joe Delaney, the NFL running back. And he saw 3 children who couldn't swim that had tried and were failing. And he couldn't swim himself, but he said, somebody's got to save those kids. And he jumped in after them, and unfortunately they all drowned. But absolute hero mode to in the face of danger, to do your very best to save those around you. So there's some real heroes out there. You know, we just play Heroes of Might and Magic here, but there's some real heroes out there. The Knights of Talonbur are well equipped and have the aid of 5 veterans of the Demon Wars. Those veterans are long gone, I'm very sorry to say. I think that we're just going to hold out here. Brother Seth is going to roll right over us, but I might as well make it a little bit tough. Do I even invest here? Gold and ore is not that bad, so we're going to invest. We're going to make this castle very hard for him to take. How about that? Keon says, I'd easily buy a headband. Okay, there's some interest. I love that. I wonder, given the speed with which you complete the maps, you'll reach the end of the available official maps, right? More than just probable, it's very likely, I think. I think it's very likely that we're going to run out of maps sooner rather than later. Falagar, we have a very interesting choice. We can go straight for Shantak, or we can go for Falagar. Thankfully, there's been a couple of people, I think Xchemo, it might have been Xchemo, mentioned that he has many maps that were saved in a folder, and he's made those available to me. Fan-made maps over the years, and of course many of them not in English, because there's been many a great map designer who is from overseas. And all the same, that's wonderful. That's lovely that there's so many fan-made maps at this point that we can potentially play forever. The official maps, yes, we will run out of those. But what is an official map except a map that the game developer specifically said was worth their time? 14 attack, 9 defense, 15 spell power, 11 knowledge. We got blood morale, great luck against Falagar with 0 attack, 0 defense, 4 spell power. I don't think that he has any kind of chance, and I think that this chain lightning is going to even the odds even quicker. Of course, the dragons don't take any damage, but being able to ignore those centaurs feels really wonderful. I might as well take out Hydras. I'm not worried about any of these other troops. The only people I'm worried about a little bit is Black Dragons, and that doesn't sketch me out that much. 12 Rangers goes down. We're gonna see, I might as well just start killing dragons. We almost kill one, we definitely kill another, and I think with a haste, maybe the champions can get back 84 hit points. Do we have a haste? We don't have a haste. With one Black Dragon, one Black Dragon, there's no way that I can defeat this enemy. One of those times where a slow is good, but you really needed the haste. Darn. Okay. Just for good measure, let's cure the Crusaders. It's not going to matter, but unless we get good morale here, Falagar is going to disappear. Unless he just has no sense of self-preservation, which it looks like he has none of which. 15 Rangers, 3 of the Veteran Pikemen, 2,900 experience. No artifacts, but that's okay. And we are going to take this castle today as well. Might as well step on the idol for the good luck and go from there. One Ranger, this battle is not worth fighting. And folks, we are going to invest in this castle. We are going to leave tomorrow with a level 5 Mage Guild. We pick up the Resurrect, that's not bad. We do have the Blind now. Interesting that we got Mass Dispel and Animate Dead in our other Mage Guild as well. It's pretty interesting. And then Resurrect, Blind, Cold Ray, Lightning Bolt. We're going to see what this 5th level Mage Guild is tomorrow. I'm excited for it. It's going to be lovely. Lovely. Okay. So, with that being said, it's day 7. We're going to get some Black Dragons tomorrow, and we're going to go from there. Let's see. On the website, Heroes3, wakeofthegods.net, they have a Heroes 2 map collection available for download. It contains more than 1,000 maps. More than 1,000 maps. We are never going to run out of maps. That's great. That's great. And the only concern is Phixfox going to run out of clever tricks? Wouldn't it be amazing if the AI was able to analyze your playstyle and change over time and adapt to whatever you throw at them? I don't know if that's possible, but that would be probably one of the coolest things ever if only you could make that happen. Again, I don't know if something like that would be possible. I don't know what it would take to program something like that, but I'm sure it would be just the worst. I think these fortifications are going to be a little bit better than a left turret, and there's a chance that he doesn't reach us here today. Unlikely, but we will see. Does Jezebel have a spell book? She does. Okay, on to a new day. Indeed, fan-made maps seem official. Yeah, I mean, well done. Well done maps, and when people put their heart and soul into these maps, beautiful things happen. Beautiful things happen. Jezebel does go down, and we're not gonna cost them a single troop, but we are gonna get to take a look at this army. The 9 red dragons is a little bit tough to deal with. Even right now, even for my main army, I would not look forward to this fight. Thankfully, we know that we're not going to give over any nice 3rd level spells that they didn't already have. So there's a couple of pluses and minuses there. We can kill one single griffin, and we shall. And I'm going to try and get, let's see, I'm going to try and make this so that these enemies will accidentally hurt themselves. If I sit right here, I think that these black dragons might step up. They just might step up and hit the veteran pikemen and kill the griffins. Nope, they sidestepped them. AI is pretty smart. And Jezebel is really sad that she joined me. I think that if she had known, she would not have joined me in the first place. Let's just double check. Level 2 knight, level 6 wizard. Marini the wizard, we're going to hire her probably over here now. Well, I guess I can't hire her anywhere else. So this is the place. Armageddon, good spell. Hard to use unless you just have the dragons. There's a lot of other 5th level spells I would have preferred. I think that in talking to Steeson, that some spells are more likely for some certain factions, and I do believe that Armageddon is one of those for the Warlocks. So it's kind of nice. Kind of nice to know that it is working as intended. If you see an Armageddon in a Warlock castle, apparently that's, don't panic. This isn't a test. That is normal, quote unquote. We're gonna trade so many resources. Oh, and we're still short. My word. We just traded 120 wood for 3 dragons. We gotta find a sulfur mine quick. I can't believe we haven't found one yet. But sulfur is a high need. Are the black dragons better than any of these troops though? It's a little bit of a question. Eon, have you thought about streaming live on YouTube? They also have the streams so you don't have to re-upload. That would be very interesting. I didn't even realize that YouTube really does a lot of streaming in that way. I sure could. And in fact, I think that, I don't know if there's more people on YouTube or more people on Twitch. I'll take a look at that. I'll have to do a little bit of exploring. At this point, I'm a little bit more comfortable on Twitch just because I've been doing this for like 3 months now. But I'm always happy to expand. Maybe one day we end up doing a YouTube stream instead of a Twitch stream. So that sounds great to me. We'll take a look at that. That's great advice there. And then Dawn is saying FHeroes2 is clever enough to avoid friendly fire mostly, which wasn't the case in the original. True. There were so many instances where you would absolutely play the enemy against itself and set them up for some really bad secondary hits. Where that's still applicable is absolutely, and I mean absolutely, when we consider the liches. The liches are still in this really bad spot where the AI will hurt their own troops en masse, and it's not even close, and it's not even funny, and it doesn't make any sense. Unless it's been patched out very, very recently, you are going to find some issues where the AI with liches are going to hurt themselves. So use that to your advantage or not. It's your call. Let's see. Apo is saying, it's getting late here, gonna sign off, get some sleep. Hey, Apo, appreciate it. Have a wonderful evening. I appreciate all the time you spent with us. We will catch you in the next one, sir. Thanks so much. Lord Shadowwing, you planning on storming the pyramids? I am, but the problem is, even though there's been another hero that's landed on this area, I think it was Sabu, we still don't have the expert wisdom. We made some other choices, some poor choices, and we don't have expert wisdom at this time. And so actually picking up this Armageddon there doesn't make a lot of sense, I just realized. I just realized that doesn't make a lot of sense. We need to fight some fights so we can get just a little bit more experience. Maybe we find some trees, stuff like that. We'll see. We're gonna wait here. I want to make sure that Vitania can get these artifacts to Ambrose. Because she's the sorceress, we're actually gonna trade. She's gonna be the one in the boat. She's gonna take the fire elementals. And meanwhile, Hector is still kind of exploring our area that we never got to. You uncover a small shrine, all but buried in the snow, dedicated to the forest god Milkiki. You stop and pay homage to this deity who has been all but forgotten. When you return to your horse, you discover that she has heard your kind prayers and that she has left you with gifts in gratitude. That's wonderful. A breastplate of defense for +3, 3,500 gold, wood, ore, and crystal. That's great. I got no problems with that. Hopefully that is not one of the names that we have to remember for later. So yeah, Lord Shadowwing, we are going to be doing that as soon as we can. Bearded Man 8319, I finally managed to hop on alive. Unfortunately, I can't stay for more than 5 minutes, but I feel glad nonetheless. Sir, I've been having you in the comments of the YouTube videos for a long time. I am thrilled to have you here. Welcome. It is a pleasure to have you. Yeah, there's a lot of long time watchers, and I'm grateful that people are interested in spending the time with me here in person. But I also recognize that, I mean, hey, we're just kind of used to YouTube at this point, so very happy to have you. It's a pleasure to have you here. I thought that we would have access to the sea. Looks like we don't. Let's see if we can escape through the south as Brother Seth maybe goes north. We'll see how lucky we are. There's a plugin for OBS that allows you to stream to Twitch and YouTube simultaneously. Ooh. See, that's interesting to me. I would like to do that if I can possibly manage that, because I'm a big fan of simple. Let's keep it real simple. And the only wonder I have is if there's a problem with you streaming on multiple platforms at once. I'm sure that they don't appreciate that, but I'm also sure that I don't care. So, you know. Let's see. And then Winimaru, indeed, for some time now, we have the right to broadcast 2 live streams at the same time on Twitch and YouTube at the same time, talking about what I've been discussing, where, you know, I'm not sure if they would like that or if they would care or not. Yeah, it was forbidden by Twitch before, but it's not very complicated to set up. On the other hand, it requires the streamer to have a good upload connection because he must stream 2 streams at the same time, and that is definitely not me. I think that we're uploading about 3,500 kilobytes per minute, and it works, but occasionally when I do have downtime here, it feels bad. So let's play it safe for now. I'm just fine by doing these streams and then doing the re-uploads later. That works fine for me. Maybe it'll work fine for you guys. So we'll see. Winimaru, your English is great. You're doing fantastic. I've never ever thought, oh, Winimaru is like a secondary English speaker. I've always thought that your English is just as good or better than mine, so no worries. In fact, I feel bad whenever I try and speak to Winimaru in French, and he just says, yeah, how about you not? Because it's bad. My 2 years of high school French are definitely insufficient. And yeah, that's my bad. Folks, this is bad. We have come upon a major issue here. Gwyneth the Knight. I knew that Purple had taken 2 castles. I knew that they had taken the Warlock Castle and wherever the Wizard Castle is, but I did not anticipate that they would have a secondary hero already with several Titans. This is bad. This is not good. Several Titans, pack of rocks, horde of the centaurs, horde of the halflings, and several of the Archmagi. Oh my gosh. Let's hope that Gwyneth won't take the risk. Well, and funny enough, so I can't get to her right now, so she actually has to step into the stone liths in order to actually come get me. So funny enough, I mean, we're gonna see where this goes. There's no guarantees that we're gonna fight here right now. Yeah, we're gonna wait and see, because I think I need to pick up at least a few more dragons before I really feel comfortable with this fight. I think so. Okay. Speaking of which, my dragons are cavorting around on the countryside. We do have Vitania, who I think is going to get into the boat and get away. Sabu might get into the boat, but she's going to be fast enough to run right by. And then we're just waiting. We're wasting Brother Seth's time, so let's just run away, and hopefully he chooses to go to the right instead of to the left. Maybe he can make it, maybe he can't. Let's find out. But yeah, it's a risk. It's a huge risk, and I don't know what to expect here. Somehow, I think that we actually could have maybe defeated Talon Burr with Ekdor if we hadn't have just built the fortifications for them. But now I'm thinking I would just prefer to get out of here, save the artifacts, and hopefully come on back. Let's see what Gwyneth does. There's no guarantees that this is going to go well. This is not good. Not good at all. Oh, but that's good. That's wonderful. That's interesting. Okay, so we had Brother Seth go to the right, which is where we wanted him to go. So Ambrose is a sacrificial lamb. And then we also have Gwyneth, who has now hopped into the boat. It's very interesting. We can, of course, still step on these lifts. I think that we're going to go try and take a wizard castle now. While she's away, we're going to go to the wizards, and it looks like this is not the place. These are the plains of Aekon in the very center. We don't actually want to be here. So we're going to hit spacebar just enough times to get to this realm, and it is going to be the realm in Cracked Earth. As we mentioned in the previous playthrough for Dominion, for some reason the wizards are always, and I mean always, in the Cracked Earth. A little bit strange. I'm guessing like there's snow and dirt amidst this other terrain. I'm guessing that green is where the wizards are. So let's go get that castle. It's got to be in the green grass. Let's head in that direction. Okay, what was Purple thinking? I don't know. That's a little sketch. And Bearded Man K, my time to go. Have a good one. Hey, thank you so very, very much for for coming on in and saying, hey, it's always a pleasure. Always nice to meet with the board of directors, as it were. So I appreciate it. Thanks so much, Bearded Man. Have a great day. We'll catch you around. We're going to go pick up this free artifact. This is a +3. There's no druids in the way in this area. And that'll just be one more artifact that Vitania gets that we have to give to somebody else later. Very interesting that there's so many of these instances where there's mines that are only accessible by sea. It's very interesting. Okay. And then we're going to continue on south. And let's see what the heck Gwyneth is doing here. This makes no sense, but we need to be concerned. We need to be very careful. Wherever she goes, we're going to hopefully respond sooner rather than later. French is hard to learn, man. Even as French people, we make mistakes all the time. There are a lot of rules and even more exceptions. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. In the same way that I'm a native English speaker and you're still going to hear me make mistakes all the time, that makes complete and total sense to me. And sometimes it's because, I mean, there's still to this day, I mean, words that I'm still learning all the time. I should probably have a word of the day calendar where I try and make sure that I'm increasing my vocabulary all the time. And there's just, turns of phrase and misheard things. So it makes sense to me that that's the case in English. So it surely must be the same case in French. So I appreciate your understanding of my shortcomings and flaws here. I think we're gonna drop a house on these Titans. 2 Titans goes down for 600 damage. That feels pretty good. Let's do that again. I don't mind if the champions take some damage from these boars. I think we can't really stop it. So let's go here. Blind is a good spell. The boars don't do anything. They just die very, very quickly. And then the rocks, I'm sure, are gonna go attack these rangers. I don't think I could stop it. Let's send the Master Swordsman up just to deal with that threat in just a moment. Never mind. Have you ever seen 101 angry blonde women just stab a bird to death? Because now you have. Oh my gosh. That was dark. Come on, you rangers. That's really dark of you. Okay. Let's kill the Titan. And then hopefully we can send the rest of our troops down to the south. I don't really have a good way of disabling this steel golem. I don't think you can blind steel golems, can you? You can. Never mind. We're going to do that. And then 3 turns, 15 turns, we're just going to crowd around. And then when the time comes to be unblinded, it's going to be a party. Absolute party. The golems can probably hear us just like shuffling closer, but they can't actually stop it from happening. So at this point, let's take the damage here and here. That was a little anticlimactic, but still. Okay, 3,400 experience. Lovely, wonderful. Arcadia is still looking to get the expert wisdom, and so it's coming, but it's still a little bit of a ways off as we take the logistics instead. There's a sign here. I feel obligated to pick this up. Farmer Giles Mushroom Farm. Sorry, no hallucinogenic fungi are available from this patch. All right, but there's something in here that's going to give me +1 luck. I will take that. Upon entering the Mystical Fairy Ring, your army gains luck for its next battle. Terrific. And then I think that we found it with this observation tower. It's the same basic pattern that we've seen to this point. So, good stuff. We're going to steal this boat. Easy access away. Lord Shadowwing, it would be nice if your hero could fly on a dragon. If you have at least one in your party, like you can in the really old game King's Bounty. Kind of similar, that reminds me of like in the old Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellows, where you can have certain creatures learn surf, and then you can sail on the oceans, things like that. I really like that idea. That would be pretty nifty. I did like the addition of the airship in the Horn of the Abyss. I thought that was pretty nifty too. A new way of logistically dealing with the map is fun. It throws in a nice wrinkle, and I can't think, and maybe you guys can tell me what you think. I'd love to hear your opinions. I can't think of any bad changes or additions with the Horn of the Abyss, but there has to be at least a couple, right? There has to be at least a few additions that just weren't very good, but I can't think of what any of them are, to be honest. I really can't. This hero wants to run. We're not going to let him. No, sir. It's going to cost us the 1 ranger, but there's no sense in letting anybody run. For some reason, we have 131 out of our 110 spell points. Oh, that's because we picked up this Artesian Spring forever ago. And we're just barely getting to the point where it's no longer useful for us. Pyro is a nobody. Man, what a beautifully done map. This kind of map does take a long time to get right. So very nice to see. And we do now have access to the Titans and a 5th level Mage Guild. We cannot use Dimension Door, folks. Not only do we not have the Expert Wisdom, but also we don't use Dimension Door unless we see the enemy using Dimension Door. It made my heart hurt a little bit because the Dominion playthrough, I think that we were cheated a little bit because we didn't get to fight this ground and pound kind of a force. And there was a lovely comment. I'm going to actually pull it up real quick because I'm interested to know who said this comment. And the idea was, is it possible with FHeroes2 to turn off Dimension Door? Is there a box you can toggle so that way you can make sure that there is no Dimension Door available from any map? And if that's the case, then I think that you just turn that off from the beginning, and then there's not going to be any mage guilds that'll ever be populated with that. That would be my hope, because as it stands, you can go into the FHeroes2 map editor and you can click on each mage guild and you can make sure that there's no Dimension Door available in that specific mage guild, however many times you want to. But that's kind of tedious. It'd be nice if you could just disable it for any given map. That would have been Patro0. Patro0 is the one that made that comment. And I thought that was an excellent comment and something I'd actually be pretty interested in seeing. Again, if you could make it happen. I'm not a programmer. I don't know what the ups and downs are with that. So, as far as the Horn of the Abyss, I hate that they nerfed intelligence and interference is too powerful. You know what? I think that you've got a real honest complaint there. Interference, I think I like the way that interference works better than I liked just resistance, because it also affects the duration of spells and how long they last, and so it's more use cases. But interference, especially on that one hero who interference is her speciality, if you can get your enemy down to 1 spell power, that doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good. So I definitely feel you on that. And then the intelligence, yeah. Intelligence is just, that's why we have intelligence, is so that we can cast as many spells as we want to. Don't take that away from me. Don't nerf it. Come on, come on. Green player's been vanquished. That is a very major event. We are now down 2 out of our starting 6 players. That is highly concerning. Something else that's highly concerning, folks, I don't know if there's any more castles on this map. Look at this. There's 1 castle in this whole snowy area that was ours. There's 1 castle that was in this whole area here. I'm guessing that there's only going to be 1 castle in here, and there's only so many land masses here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that there's exactly 6 castles on this map, and that's going to make things kind of interesting, because if there's only 6 castles on the map, you're going to have to, I mean, okay, we are back for the 3rd and final time. We are finishing Plains of Aekon today. This has been a 3-day bonanza, and it's time to be done with this. It's time to put this one in the bag. So let me just give you a quick update on what happened. I did lose my saved file on this playthrough, and so I had to replay from the last save through up until the point where I took the Warlock Castle and the Wizard Castle. And so if things don't look exactly the same, I will try and point out exactly where some things might have gone a little bit differently, because these things do go differently. Remember that we started off in the upper right corner here. This was our territory, and in the previous playthrough, you will understand that yeah, they took our castle from us. In this playthrough, no, they didn't. We were able to more or less just mess around. I tried to keep things the same. I just couldn't. There is 1 enemy that's still skulking around in our area. They've taken a few things. They're going to very soon take this castle, and there's going to be some major problems. Also, the enemies have gotten into this island, which before they did not. It's a volcanic area. There were some bone dragons. You could see just at the very edge of the map that they had defeated a few bone dragons to get, I think, +4 to knowledge and a couple of other stats, like a +1/+1 from the white pearl, things like that. We have also seen enemies land on this island that looks kind of deserty, but other than that, we have taken 1, 2, 3 castles. We've defeated some major foes along the way. The main difference between this map and the previous one is that our enemies, yellow, are being much more active on the map. That would be probably the thing that I have found to be the most annoying and the most different. They have landed in several instances, several places that I didn't think that they would otherwise. So here's that area. They actually, I guess if they didn't defeat the bone dragons, they landed and then they just took out some free resources there. And then they've landed somewhere in this island there, somewhere in this island here. So that is my catch up. Somehow I still have Talonbur. Don't ask me how. Brother Seth has just been wasting his time. Sometimes things go differently, and that's okay. All right, so we're going to hop into the boat. We're trying to more or less evacuate all of these troops here. There's no reason not to. And if we get the chance, we are for sure going to bring troops from here up. If we need to get them out, we sure will. If this enemy here, if purple has not taken this castle in this playthrough, then they might not have a castle right now. We were just kind of finishing up by saying that there's 1 castle on each continent. Purple might have no castle right now, and if they never actually saw this castle of Talonbur, they might not be coming my way. Their big force might be trying to head south into the boat, and maybe within 7 days they're trying to take this castle back. Good luck. I think that might be a little bit too far away for you to get to. It's possible that purple's going to find somebody else's castle. We will see. There is currently... everybody's here except for blue. I don't remember if we lost somebody in the previous playthrough. I feel like we did. I feel like we lost one other person, but now we currently have sorceresses, necromancers, barbarians, knights, and warlocks. Okay, that's all convoluted and done. It's done. The mess is over. Phixfox has fixed his messed up playthrough that he was struggling with. Okay, it's gonna feel good to get this map done. This is so weird to Frankenstein stitch 3 separate playthroughs on 3 separate days together like this, but it's what we're gonna do. This map has been so fun that I couldn't imagine just not posting this, and especially for all the people that really enjoy these playthroughs. I understand the idea of like, hey, I said some really nice things on Twitch and they're really funny, and I'd really prefer it if you posted those as opposed to just ignoring me. So number 1, it's good for you guys in that way. And number 2, it's good because Plains of Aekon, do I really want to start all over again? There's been some nifty things here on this playthrough. Things I just couldn't recreate. Fun instances of struggle and challenge, but ultimately of overcoming. And so for that reason, I'm pretty happy. Pretty happy with the way this playthrough's gone so far. I am going to still stay away from Gwyneth. We've actually done, I think, a little bit of a better job defeating some big, scary enemies in this playthrough. I've defeated a couple of... I've probably defeated about 10 Titans worth of army. I've probably defeated maybe 6 dragons. Not Brother Seth's, of course. And so to see Gwyneth here with a few Titans and to know that Brother Seth still has a pretty big fighting force is actually a little bit scary. I did not anticipate that they would still have so much strength left over after all of this. So there's a lot of map left to be played. Vitania, it looks like I wandered too close to somebody. It's a little bit tough for me to keep track of where everybody is when there are boats everywhere. And this is Croto the Warlock with 2 attack, 1 defense, 13 power, 5 knowledge, but a yellow player. So a barbarian has been picked up for these gentlemen, and that's always a little bit concerning. We are going to run with Vitania. She does have the Astrolabe mobility and 1 other artifact, and so I'd like for her to keep those if at all possible. It's another week, folks. Purple might be going down. Unfortunately, I might be robbing you of a very interesting playthrough in the event that Purple is not able to reclaim a castle within the next 4 days or so. They are going to lose. And I think that, as you can see, I'm bringing Castor up so he can sit on this doorstep. And very soon I'm going to have some of these other heroes move as well. I think it might be that if the enemy does not push into our territory, if they don't be smart, they might lose. This was a very unexpected development, and this is not something I anticipated when I had redone, probably a month's worth of playthrough. I think I went from like day 49 up to day 69, so maybe 20 days worth, 20 turns. But if that's the case, then there's an awful lot to be said about trying our very best to make sure that we just lose our purple friends as quickly as possible. I'm going to send one of these heroes back down. It's going to be Ambrose. I think that Ector is my favorite hero out of the 2 of them just because he's got the advanced pathfinding, and that seems to be working pretty well for me. Tomorrow we're going to have Barak step off. I am going to want Arcadia to go up in that direction. Well, I guess I can do that now, couldn't I? And the reason I want that is because I'm guaranteed sure that it'll be Brother Seth heading back to Purple's area. More than anything, I think that that's what we could expect. And so let's just try and make sure that they don't show up and cause us any grief up here. We have seen some boats land over here. If they're gonna try and take this long way to this castle, they are welcome to. I don't know how successful they're going to be at that. We're going to take these troops here. It's not much, but with Ector, 6 Crusaders, 10 champions, things like that, we could potentially get these Medusas, this artifact here. I don't think he's got any spells, no, but he's got 2, 7, 1, and 1. And with 44 Rangers, that should be enough. I don't know. Medusa are a pretty tough creature, so it could go poorly, but all indications, all of my Spider-Man tingles say that this should be a win. So let's send them over here, and actually let's try and make sure, let's potentially only lose the veteran pikemen. Whenever you go through these whirlpools, you got a 33% chance of halving the stack that is in the first position in your army. We get lucky there, and hopefully this is a big enough army to defeat lots of Medusa. I was really here for one reason and one reason only. It was to make sure that Brother Seth does not come here. I'm surprised. I thought he would hop in the boat. He is not. Maybe the threat is from over here. For that reason, Arcadia is going to sit right here. Yeah, Arcadia is going to sit. She's going to grab the obelisk, and she's going to sit right here so that she can respond in either direction, because I don't think that the enemy is going to be able to clear out somebody else's castle. Purple has been really relegated to this half of the map, to the eastern half of the map, and if that's the case, then I am going to let them struggle mightily. We have heroes on doorstops everywhere, and so you have to invade these areas via boat. It's speaking of boats, let's give Vitania. Oh yes, there is this 5th level mage guild here. I'm pretty sure that this was here before, but Resurrect True, Dimension Door, Maslow, Elemental Storm, Fire Blast. Yeah, this is an excellent mage guild, and I didn't purchase this. This was just kind of what the enemy had ready for me. I was only 1 day later in taking this castle this time than I was in the first playthrough, but here we are. We do have basic wisdom, not expert. We do need to get plenty of levels so we can actually use those spells. We got view towns here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so there's no other castles, and it looks like green, yellow, red. Yeah, purple is almost done. Purple is almost done. As far as their heroes, it looks like it was a green hero that landed. I thought that maybe that would be a purple hero. It looks like it's just Brother Seth. One purple hero here, and then one in the middle. Folks, we might secure the entire plains of Aekon for ourselves. If red is going to stay stuck on their little desert spit of land, and if the yellow barbarians are going to maybe fight green for us a little bit. Yeah, this is pretty interesting. No other heroes out here on these isles. I think we're gonna defeat purple. I think that this is a very interesting development that I did not see, but I think it's gonna happen. And then it'll be just barbarians and sorceresses against us. But quite frankly, if we have the dragons and the titans in this map, it shouldn't be a problem. I say that and then watch as some other fun things happen, and all of a sudden I lose in a fiery fireball of fire. Because that's the best way to lose. Not just with fire, but a fiery fireball of fire. We're gonna pull a sneaky on Brother Seth. Whoop. Here we are. Let's see it come and grab us now when we're over here. I don't think I need to wait any longer. I had waited over here with Arcadia just in case we needed to stop some aggression here. I feel confident that we can take one step back and let Barak still do his door duties. But I think it's time for me to head into the center. And if I do defeat Gwyneth, she's just experience for me at this point. So for the first time in nearly 3 months, we are back and we are ready to take the plains of Aekon. Nice. That feels a-okay. We're going to fight this fight now. We're going to keep the rangers at the top. We're going to keep the pikemen where they can be the most useful for us. A glorious victory, 4 and 9. I think I'm going to accept these losses. And we're going to go with the navigation once. Anyway, navigation once for Ector seems okay, so he can be out on the water for me. A water elemental speaks to you. So, you have entered our secret lagoon. Impressive for a mortal being. Show us that you are clever, and show us your respect for our power, and we shall grant you a boon of great power. Seek the island of stone for the key to unlocking your treasure. Seek the island of stone. So we just picked up the teal tent here. I don't know where the island of stone is. All these islands have been pretty nifty. This was like the island of air, and you can see that there's a person who's landed there. We need Selwyn Bezwine's area here. We can still visit all these Xanadus with our main hero. Island of stone, though. This is the island of volcanic terrain. Maybe this is stone. There's an arena and some nifty stuff here. It looks like just the edges of some creatures that we've explored. I don't know where stone might be. We've got plenty to explore here. So with that being said, I don't think that we're going to bother Ector too much longer. He's just going to pick up this artifact for us. It's going to be a spell scroll with the fireball spell. Really nice. And I don't want to fight these water elementals. I don't even think I want to fight these water elementals. These ones aren't even guarding anything. These ones, even though they're guarding something, I don't think I really want to tangle with them if I don't have to. The continent is secured. The day is saved. My heroes are running around, gaining experience on my dime, but also picking up free gold wherever they can. And Barak is going to be back to door duty. By the way, interesting. I'd like to hear your opinions. Is this good or bad? In Heroes of Might and Magic 3, you can go through a lith, and if there's an enemy hero on the other side, you simply fight whatever hero you would have run into, because you can't occupy or share the same space. But with that being said, in Heroes 2, you can just stand on the door and their take on occupying that space is much better. It's much closer to, well, you just can't come through. Good change, bad change? I'd love to hear your opinions on that. The mayor of Aekon greets you. Brave warriors, be merciful. We are but a trading community, defenseless against our enemies. You look him in the eye. Not defenseless, good sir. My warriors will defend your lands with steel and blood. In gratitude, he gives you a precious treasure. That's a +1 wood per day. I don't know if I'm the only person to have ever found that. I was just heading up the road, but now I'm going to stay here for a second. I do need to explore, though. I said I was going to stay here for a second, and then immediately I changed my mind. I say, no, we got stuff to do. Let's hope that we don't lose rangers. We don't. And where to go? Where to go? Yellow's hero Croto has landed. He doesn't have many forces. Tell you what, let's just go try and track him down. Khaleesi Danny, I do again believe that that's a Game of Thrones reference. Let's stay away from her, but let's try our best to still be active on the map. Even if there's going to be some struggles in general, let's just try and be active and hope that good things will follow. Anytime you're proactive, you got a chance that things are going to work out in your favor. Not always, but sometimes. We're going to lose one Crusader. I don't think we can avoid that. It was month of the Druid, and so the Druids have been a little bit of a pain, not for my primary hero, but for my secondary hero. I feel like that's month of the whatever. What are the mechanics associated with that? Whenever it's a new month and it's going to be a month of something, you're going to get more of those creatures on the map, and you can use those to provide you experience. You can use those to provide you with a way to stop your enemies from doing nice things. It's interesting. It can be annoying, but it can be interesting nonetheless. In this instance, for me, I think that it matters more to me that they are experienced than anything. Especially since I still want to get that 5th level spell. If I can get Resurrect Trio, we're going to be doing just fine. And so I actually do want to fight a little bit more than sometimes I might otherwise want to. So I think that right now these heroes are just kind of waiting. I don't really have anywhere for them to be. The big hero at the moment is just Vitania. Weird that the navigation, the astrolabe are currently on land. You'd think that you'd want to do that differently, but right now it just feels like this is the best thing for her. Well, it's the best thing for me, and she does what I tell her to do. So okay. Yeah, yellow is so very, very active on this map, and it's going to be a little bit hard to track all of these heroes down. Purple's probably going to go down in the next day or so. We're going to pick up the expert logistics there. We're going to take our losses. Cold Rain from the shrine. And let's see where all this takes us. We're being pursued by Khaleesi. And unfortunately, in this playthrough, Khaleesi actually picked up all of these Medusa, and that's actually a lot of Medusa. I'm wondering if she has navigation. Barbarians are actually very, very likely to get navigation. We've only got basic. If she's got advanced, she will catch us. We're going to need to land to prevent ourselves from getting destroyed. Day 6, there's no threat to our dragons, no threat to our titans. Oh my gosh, I told you. Okay, I think that we're going to be happy that Ector was able to get ourselves that teal tent, and then we're going to otherwise just move forward. 3 attack, 7 defense. We've got plenty of artifacts. I definitely want to keep this breastplate for the +3. She's got 17 attack. Where did you get 17 attack? Khaleesi? What? 17 attack, 6 power, 8 knowledge, or 3 knowledge, 8 spell power. Goodness gracious. There's no way we win this fight. These forces are not too many weeks worth of creatures, but these Medusa are just gonna be a problem. We might as well fight down to almost the last man, or in this case, maybe Orc. I could get the first hit off here. Look how little damage I'm gonna do. We kill 2 Medusa. We do kill 3 total. Ouch. Ouch. with the Rangers and these Master Swordsmen in the back, I'm going to assume that we're not going to just get wiped off the face of the map. I'm going to assume that we can actually do some damage. Ouch. Ouch. The champions hopefully can. Let's see. We're not gonna kill all these Medusa. In the future, that looks prime for one single chain lightning. We do have the chain lightning that's doing like 600 points of damage. So I think that we're gonna try and kill everybody but the Medusa at the moment. That's 2 War Trolls that goes down. The Rangers are gonna do some follow up on that 10 hit points. Maybe not. 10 hit points doesn't seem like it's very useful. We're gonna move the veteran pikemen down. Just staying alive. Staying alive, guys. I don't think I feel comfortable sticking around anymore. Overlords could get good morale. And what would I kill? One war troll? Not worth it. Not wise. Let's leave now. 4, 3, and 8. Yeah, Khaleesi is just a speed demon. And unfortunately, I think she knows it. And there it is. Purple player's been vanquished. That is really nice. That is a lot of dragons that we did not have to fight. And Titans. Gwyneth and Brother Seth were both not that tiny. They were something. And so happy to get that taken care of. This is the gateway to the home of the sorceresses. The sorceress followers of the goddess Thainler. Ugh, messed that up. And the houses of justice where the necromancers rule. I would prefer to focus on the barbarians at the moment. Sorceresses are the next best unit on the map. And we do know that they are in the upper left corner. I wonder if it wouldn't be better for us, though, just to focus on taking the barbarians out while we can. Hold on, let me do this one more time. View towns indicates that this is yellow, green, and red. Everybody's got one castle. So if I could take the barbarian castle, then that might be another opportunity for yellow to disappear and go the way of the purple player. Because that was kind of nice. That was kind of nice. I think that we're to the point where some of these heroes that aren't doing much, it's time to start either sending them to the front or we dismiss them and maybe try and hire somebody else. I think that we're going to have, let's see. We're going to do just like this. We're going to head south with Dimitri. We do still need to rehire one hero. We're going to make it Hector because he's level 5 and he's going to be near the dragons. And he's going to stay overnight. And I've just got so many doorstops. I'm going to assume that this is not going to hurt my feelings too bad to lose Lord Kilburn in the pursuit of getting lots of resources. Because the plains of Aekon in the center, it does have some value there. Yellow is fighting green there on the Isles. Yellow is definitely my scariest enemy at the moment. And so I don't feel bad about forcing them to make a decision. Even if the only decision I force them to make is whether or not they're going to attack my castle versus like Green's, that's still forcing the action. That forces the decision that makes Yellow have to deal with a kind of tough position. And so anytime I can make my enemies feel uncomfortable, I feel like I'm doing my job as a Heroes Might and Magic player. There's 2 boats here. This might be actually, I didn't realize I was going in the direction where I could get into some boats, but that could be just fine. We do need sulfur. Somehow we don't have a sulfur mine, which is amazing to me. We're going to trade. It's going to be plenty of sulfur now, but still, I'm a little bit amazed at how little sulfur we have somehow all this far into this map. We're going to take everybody that's not so very slow. Hydras, peasants. And we're gonna let the peasants go home to their families. Is there a sulfur mine here? No. There's sulfur over in this direction. Maybe the best thing to do is to hop into these boats. I would love to find this blue barrier. I haven't found it yet. I think that this army with 9 black dragons, you can defeat Khaleesi. Let's go straight to the boats. And let's hope that we can, again, press tempo. Put the enemy in a little bit of a rough position. We do still have 6 or 9 Titans available. I'm guessing it's 6. But I'm going to ignore them for now. They're going to remain as some backups. Who is standing on my lith? Is it me? I feel like I'm standing on my lith. Wait, is that where that goes? This one goes to me. This one goes to wizards and warlocks. Okay, yeah, so then I want... This one's green and red. Oh, I share the liths. I'm the knights. I share with the barbarians. Barbarians are right over here. Thundax is coming. We're going to see Thundax pop out of here in just 1 second. Okay. I messed that up, but I went to the wrong gate. There's only 3 gates with 3 exits. You'd think that I would be able to figure it out sooner rather than later, but no. Port of Medusa here. Maybe we will take Titans. Grab some freebies and then take the Titans and go. The Titans are definitely the stronger... Well, I don't want to say that they're the stronger force on the map. The dragons and Titans are so much stronger than any of my enemies that even though those troops are going to be on weaker heroes, I still think I'm going to be better off. We're not going to take the Statesman's Medal, or rather that, not Statesman's Medal. We're not going to take the Statesman's Quill. I don't plan on running at any point. It just doesn't seem very useful to me. And so we're just going to press forward, press our advantage, and go from there. Thundax the Barbarian, 9 attack, 2 defense. He's got the bulk of the army, and he is not their strongest hero. He's a good hero, but he's not the strongest. And so with the Blood Morale, Normal Luck, 23 spell points, 15 attack, 13 defense, 16 spell power, and 11 knowledge for me, I am going to win this fight, that's for sure. Let's use our spells as much as possible. 640 points of damage. Boom. And that kills most of the war trolls. We're going to let the enemy come to us slowly. We're probably going to end up casting Chain Lightning one more time on the Cyclopes. And I think that I actually just want to kind of threaten these Orc Chiefs. I'll just go into this spot here, and then next turn we'll potentially go all the way down the battlefield. Same thing with the Crusaders. Let's step up to here. A blind on the Master Swordsman. Okay, I think the AI is blinding based off of turn, and it's only going to last 1 turn because you only have 1 spell power. Oh no, that's not going to work well for you, buddy. Otherwise, it would have made more sense to blind these other 2 creatures, but with 1 spell power, it's going to cost the Master Swordsman their turn, but you can't actually remove the turn from these champions or these Crusaders. So overall, it was a good decision on their part. It's the best that they could have done with what they had. I had mentioned doing another Chain Lightning. This is looking a little scary. I'm guessing it'll go like 1, 2, 3, 4. That might not be good. But at that point, it'll be maybe 70 points of damage. Let's still consider casting that or casting the Paralyze. If we Paralyze, then we're going to get this shot off on their Cyclops without them having a retaliation. I don't think that that's a terrible idea. I do not think that's a terrible idea. Let's kill... Tell you what, let's cast the Paralyze. We're going to break it ourselves with the Crusaders. We're going to kill Goblins. No, you have to kill the 18 attack Ogre Lords. The attack skill is so much higher, they're actually going to do bonus damage. Whereas you can kill so many Goblins, they're just going to tickle. And so we're not going to mess with them. Down to 1 Cyclops. I wish I could get onto these Goblins. I can't. Oh, I can! Even the damage there. Killing 129 Goblins makes this feel much better. And then from here, if I was the enemy, I would just run. They decide to stick around. I don't see how this is going to help you, though. Yeah, this isn't going to work out very well at all. We are going to cast the Blind if we have it. Nope, it will be the Paralyze. Here, and here, and here. And then everybody's just going to crowd around. And then at the beginning of next turn, we're going to let probably the Crusaders take the first blow. Okay. Just like this. So 3 and 1 go down, 6,000 experience. And again, experience is good because we're trying to get up to Expert Wisdom. If you got the Resurrect True, we're golden. We just absolutely win. Power Ring is going to be nice, and we're going to pick up the Leadership. Not too bad. Not too bad. We still have Expert, 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 Advanced, Basic, and Basic. And so the Advanced Diplomacy, the Basic Navigation, and the Basic Wisdom, I hope that at no point do we have Expert of everything but Navigation and Wisdom. That would just feel bad. Let's not do that. Somebody else is going to come pick up this. We don't have time. More important things to do. Somebody's got more important things to do for us. I don't think I'm going to pick up these peasants. These peasants' huts are just for decoration, I think. I don't think that they actually hold any strategic significance. On a map that already is ripe with significance and meaning, I don't think that 2 peasant hovels is going to do much for you. The enemies do pick up that Witch's Brooch for a +3 spell power. They're landing in that general area on my wizarding coast, making me happy that I still have those troops there. Let's go into what I assume to be the desert. No, it's the swamp. Let's go into the swamp. Let's find these guys. Let's see. It looks like they are going to be starting off in the desert, though. And I guess it doesn't matter if I go north or south-ish here, around this little berm. That'll work for now. And then Dimitri. It's got to go on. I do want to explore more of these isles. I do want Vitania to make this happen. Please, Vitania. There's so much fun story here. If only you will help me discover this secret to this story. I hope that we get to defeat Khaleesi. Because remember, she just defeated Ector the Knight. I want her to be like, oh, you come back for more, have you? And he says, huh, yeah, I have. And I am ready for you. And he is. He is absolutely ready for her. Ambrose is probably my most useless hero at this time. I am going to let go of Ambrose. He's got the basic estates. It's fine. It's fine. I saw recently in the Winnie Mario playthrough that this is actually a very viable strategy to eliminate some of your own forces, because you need to have troops where you need them. And so it makes no sense to just hurt yourself by holding on to troops that are just not necessary. You've already paid the gold, right? There's the sunk cost fallacy where you assume that just because you've spent the gold that it makes sense to hold on to that bad decision. Let's not hold on to our bad decisions, and let's reposition our forces where we can. That sounds good to me. Khaleesi has sailed north. She's got to land at some point. Well, she did land. She's got to get back into the boat at some point. And if she does, I think that we just defeat her. I think so. So this is a mistake because this spit of land doesn't really go anywhere. Yeah, she's going to find out real quick that she's made a mistake. Hill Fort, we don't have anything there. I think that it looks like there's a break in the mountain range here. And there is. View Towns, we've already got that spell. We're going to pick up their gold mine on our way in, and we do see this observation tower. We're going to sit right here so nobody can get by us. Well, maybe they can get by us. Gwyneth is back. Remember that that was Purple's hero? I wonder, actually, now that I think about it. So Purple lost their heroes, and their heroes died with several forces, Titans and the such. Do those troops go with the hero? That's a really real question there. I don't know the answer to that. If a hero abandons its master because they don't have a castle anymore, what happens to the troops that are on that hero? Surely you're going to get the artifacts. Like, that's not even a question. You're going to get the artifacts. But what else? I don't know the answer. That's a very interesting question. It looks like, because Gwyneth is right here, and I don't see Titans anywhere, I'm guessing that we're fine. I'm guessing that she didn't just get some free Titans for yellow from Purple. But that would be a really, really silly mechanic if that was the case. Silly, but I could see some logic there. Looks like it's going to be Gwyneth the Knight, 2 attack, 7 defense. This is basically 1 week's worth of Barbarian forces. I'm not too worried. Yeah, I'm not too worried. This map, I've just decided, with only 6 players and 6 castles, this map is essentially Slugfest. Just bigger. That's all it is. And so all the forces that you have to deal with from week to week and day to day, they actually matter. Like, it actually matters, because if you lose any of your forces, you can't readily resupply. And so somehow, as the Knights, we still have this massive Knight army, and we have the Titans. It's Slugfest. This is basically Slugfest. Of course, Slugfest being the very, very small map where it's cramped quarters and each of the factions are represented. But I don't know how to tell you this. I don't want to hurt your feelings. This might be a hot take, but this is basically just Slugfest on a bigger scale. Maybe it could make sense to not have only 6 castles on a map at any given moment. Could be. But I think that where this map has really differentiated itself, though, we haven't seen it since I restarted this playthrough to this point. But it really has been the story elements, and that's part of the reason, again, why I'm trying to get out onto the islands and find whatever secrets the islands hold for us. Yellow, I don't know what Yellow is doing on that spit of land as the grateful citizens of the land of Talonbur pay tribute. I really don't know what you're doing here. I'm going to cast the view towns real quick. 1 and 2. Barbarians are probably really scared at the moment. Green. Red. Red has not really left their lands. Neither has green for the most part. 1 or 2 little forays into the wild blue yonder, but not much. Otherwise, you got this 1 yellow hero here. 1 yellow hero here. And 1 here. Yeah, if yellow's barbarian forces abandon them too, we're gonna be just fine. We might unfortunately be heading to the end of this map sooner than I would have liked. Sooner than I would have liked. We need to go to these liths. There's no sense in not putting on the pressure. But I think the red heroes are going to be fairly tough. We're going to defeat Khaleesi. Somehow she's able to defeat 2 black dragons. I say somehow, I know how. She's got so much attack and so much defense, but I don't want to let her go. I feel like I feel obligated to fight her at this time. So we shall. We're going to use the gargoyles to take this retaliation from these Medusa. I just don't want the black dragons to take it. These are the biggest, scariest, toughest troops here. I know I'm setting myself up for a double hex attack. I don't worry nearly so much about the 4 Cyclopes at this time. Yep, there that goes. Good luck on 1 troll. Nice. Very nice. Very scared of that. Another hit here. Oh, I thought I'd get a really sweet retaliation. I did not. I thought I'd get the double hex attack on the retaliation. We got 170 hit points on this 1 black dragon. We are going to use every little bit of this. And, oh, let's plan on the centaur killing that 1 troll to the bottom. This feels good, and the enemy runs. So 1 black dragon, we saved ourselves just a little bit of trouble. Archery or ballistics? Recently, there was a comment on one of my videos about the secondary skills, and they asked about the difference between archery and ballistics. I think I had ballistics as an A tier skill and archery as a B tier skill. I'm just going to read that the response I did, because they were just indicating that they didn't think that that was a great choice. And I think that I've improved as a Heroes of Might and Magic player since I made that video. And also, I'd like to think that I can talk about my faults and flaws in my logic later. That video is rife with inconsistent logic. For example, I'll say that I really, really value effect size, and I'll also say that I value consistency, like availability being the best ability. And then I will have inconsistent leaps of logic where I don't value things like I ought to. And so let's see. If availability is the best ability, then you're going to want a secondary skill that never turns off. And so for ballistics to be over archery, well, you're only using ballistics whenever you're fighting in a castle. Archery is always on, assuming that you have troops. So here's my response. You tell me if you like this or not. I said archery in Heroes of Might and Magic 2 at expert essentially provides +1, +2.5, and then +5 attack skill for each ranged creature. That's 10%, 25%, and 50% bonus damage. And it eliminates the 50% penalty for enemies hiding behind a castle wall. It will always be better outside of castle sieges where there is no wall, but it will only affect 22.2% of all the units in the game. Basically, that's 10 out of 45. Ballistics only has the effect in sieges, but against non-knight castles, meaning that there's no fortifications, it will destroy all turrets and the drawbridge by round 3 at expert, 4 at advanced, and 5 at basic. Worth noting that the left and right turret and the Bastille damage scales with the number of buildings in that castle and the defender's attack skill. And then I mentioned that, look, my logic was inconsistent in the video when I discussed availability being the best ability, and the fact that archery will be available for every fight versus only in sieges for ballistics. It makes me think that really I should bring archery up to A tier, but I don't feel comfortable dropping ballistics down a tier. And that's kind of where I think I would end with this. Rather than having archery and ballistics in separate tiers, I think I'd move both of them into A tier solidly. With that being said, we're going to take the archery here. Maybe the biggest knock to ballistics is that it doesn't really account for flying creatures. We talk about how maybe 22% of the forces are going to benefit from archery in the game. With ballistics, anybody who's flying doesn't really care about ballistics that much. Or so I used to think. I have changed my tune on that a little bit, and here's how. I've decided that that's not quite accurate because, again, left turret, right turret, and the main tower, the damage, being able to eliminate that damage does matter. That matters a lot. And so if you can defeat the enemies, then with that extra force, you might as well. That only really matters if the castle siege is going to go 3, 4, 5, 6 turns. But if it does, then you're going to be really happy that you had ballistics. Just my 2 cents. I think that I do want to go exploring. I'm going to check. These islands look kind of interesting. Let's go in that direction. And Battania should be able to move forward with her Titans pretty soon as well. Yellow's got to find a castle. Yellow has to find a castle. And I think that that's why you see all of their troops hopping into boats right now. They're saying to themselves, look, we don't want to go the way of purple. We do want to live. We do want to survive. I don't know if they're going to be able to for much longer, though. And very interesting, by the way, that red and green, the sorceresses and the necromancers, they've not left their continent. Why is that? Why am I losing 2 titans? How is this so many Medusa? Oh my goodness. That's a lot of Medusa. That's an awful lot. The paralyzers are going to come out hot and fast. Goodness gracious. But why? I don't know if it's going to come down to terrain and geography or what. If you are in, like, say, the swamp, I think it's possible. It's possible that the AI is slow enough that it just kind of hits this loop. And how do I mean? Where it'll just more or less restart its turn again and again and again. Its weekly pattern of, oh, it's almost a new week, I better go back and I better resupply with my troops. I think it's possible that the AI will get stuck in a loop like that. No guarantees, but it's possible. Rocks are gonna back off. I just don't need to take damage here. Ouch. We took damage. Nice job, Phixfox. And the steel golems got stronger because you petrified them. The steel is now also stone. I would love to see my defense go up. I just think that that makes too much sense. The fact that you're not allowing me to do that hurts my heart. I anticipate that the Titans are going to take this damage, and I anticipate that I'm not going to care that much. With the paralyzes, we've more or less isolated these fights. Even so, down to 229 hit points left. Don't love this, but it'll be fine. 11 turns, 12 turns, it's fine. Oh, it's fine. I think I can kill these Medusa before they get down the battlefield. Let's not waste that ranged shot there. Or here. And they're gonna be dead real quick. Okay. Now here, though, my steel golems are unpetrified. I'm just going to have them stand in front, so if the Medusas want to do something, they have to go all the way around. They're going to have to wait one more turn before they get to go. And at that point, they're going to be down to, what, 3 Medusa? 2. Yeah, not too big of a problem. Once again, we get we get petrified. By the way, that really does make me happy that they changed the icon for FHeroes2. I think that's such a nice addition. If you remember the old icon for Petrify, it just looked kind of meh. And so, as always, the FHeroes2 team is making some real nice changes. Good job, folks. Always impressed. Always a pleasure. By the way, if you have not noticed, so it's currently September 18th, 19th, somewhere around there. It's very, very much worth noting that there's a new patch out for FHeroes2. Go and check it out if you have not. I really do appreciate getting to see the changes from playthrough to playthrough, and I think that they do matter. I've never had a patch from FHeroes2 that I said, oh, I could do without that. It's always been good quality changes. I've mentioned in the past that you have to have good programmers in order to make some good... Oh, she's gonna cast Armageddon on me. 11 spell power, 17 knowledge, and with these troops, she's gonna cast Armageddon if she gets the chance. We will not let her have that chance. We have to kill one single peasant. Goodness gracious. You thought you were slick. You thought you were cool. Nah, get out of here. I don't even want to hear it from you. Evenstar the sorceress. Your magics will avail you nothing. But I will take your black pearl for +2/+2. Okay, great. That was actually really nice. I would love to get rid of the power ring, love to get rid of the Court of Wood. I just haven't run into any of my allies recently, so whoops. View towns one more time. We do just need to head north. This is the Warlock's domain. I know that we just saw some sorceresses, but this is actually where the necromancers hang out. And because we haven't seen them fight too much, we're probably actually going to lose in just a moment here. We're going to do a ton of damage to them, but I think that their forces are ultimately going to overwhelm us. I think so. I don't see how I can possibly defeat them. I've taken losses this entire time, and they will have taken no losses. And so I'm anticipating that they're going to have a big fighting force. We finally need to go in this direction. I just need to know what the enemies are doing before they grab me. Lord Kilburn is probably taking a cut out of every single windmill he gets. I don't know. I just assume that he is that kind of guy. Yeah, few bone dragons there. That's fine. I can deal with a few bone dragons, but more than that, not so much. Let's see. Few, maybe not. What happened to your bone dragons? You've got to have a bigger fighting force than this. Like, you just have to, don't you? Maybe not. Glorious victory there, no losses. Glorious victory here, a few losses. One chain lightning is going to go a long, long way. And then we're going to replenish our spell points by staying in the castle overnight. Huh. Interesting. Okay, well. I anticipated I would see somewhere in the range of 15 to 30 bone dragons, and I'm just not seeing that. And I'm just very surprised at that. I'm truly surprised. Not surprised to see some dead skeletons, though. 2,000 experience there. Another level? No, not another level. We can't reach Falgar anyway. Mirror image, resurrect. Okay, these are still good. And one more castle down. With only 6 castles on the map, we may have to keep the green sorceresses alive so we can explore these areas. This has got to be the place of rock, right? The island of rock. This has to be it. I don't know why I'm looking at maybe fighting this fight. With 6 titans, like, I should win, but earth elementals are still pretty tough, and Vitania has no attack skill. So, yeah. Let's land here. I don't know. Sounds good. Oh, Teal! Aqua barrier. We found the aqua barrier place. So yeah, we should actually, this is perfect. That was very nice. Happy to see that happen. And then we're going to explore in this kind of alcove just as soon as we clear out these final bits of resources. Dimitri has taken these forces and he doesn't know where he's going. Or at least I don't know where he's going. Maybe he has a better idea than I do. It's possible. But he looks like he's just being very inefficient with his time. Yellow, you gotta hurry, Yellow. Yellow is making no haste in picking up a new castle, which is fine by me. Because now, the only person that can possibly defeat me is green. Everybody else's power appears to have been broken. Magical barrier, no problems. 8 dragons are going to go through these trolls like they are nothing. We're going to pick up the wisdom. What is this? An earth elemental speaks from the stone. Most impressive. Years ago, the conjurer Corrin transgressed, failing to honor the elementals who gave him his power. Now he is imprisoned on the island of wind. If you have the strength to release him, he will serve you. Now that years of imprisonment have taught him some humility. So it is going to be Corrin that is in this jail on the island of wind. This is going to be him. So blue barrier, we're still looking for this blue barrier. We are going to get Corrin, and we're going to have a real nice time. Island of Stone, gateway to the elemental plane of Earth. So yeah, this is the Island of Stone. So if you're going to play this map yourself, I'm wrong for saying that this map is essentially Slugfest. It's not. It's better than Slugfest. But, I'm just saying. When there's elements like these, that's what really separates a small map from a large map. Because otherwise, you might as well say, well, the Roland campaign is basically just the Archibald campaign. You might as well say, well, the Price of Loyalty campaign is basically the Voyage Home campaign. I mean, it's all Heroes of Might and Magic, but the nifty thing is that these playthroughs, these scenarios and campaigns, there is so much variety here. I've mentioned that one of my issues with Heroes of Might and Magic 3 is often that it feels kind of samey. The campaigns just feel like I've done this and I get tired of doing the same thing again and again and again. Heroes of Might and Magic 2, I've never had that feeling. You somehow have less troops, you have less adventure map objects, you have less secondary skills, you have less in general, and yet, in Heroes 2, I've never ever felt like I'm bored because I'm doing the same thing again and again. I don't even think that that's a hot take. I just think that that's kind of my reality, and you could disagree with it, but I think that that's a fair point on my end. Level 10, level 7, level 2, level 18, 3, 3, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. All of a sudden, Vitania has become our second best hero because she's been defeating hordes of creatures, which good for her. We pick up the blue tent, and this is going to be a set Earth Guardian spell. Alrighty. That's going to be alright. Not the best thing I ever saw, but okay. I wonder if Vitania can actually give over all these troops. She can get to... Oh, we've got... Hold on. One of us has to have Summon Boat. So actually, Ector's going to get to here, and then Vitania's going to Summon Boat right about there and get in. And then she's going to go free Corrin. And we're going to have a real nice time. I'm probably going to keep a couple of the dragons on Ector just so he can be safe. And maybe he can do some other things for me. As yellow player's been vanquished, they ran out of time. And the clock is currently ticking for red. And green, for that matter. Hello. I think that what we're going to do is we're going to sit right outside of green's castle, and we're just going to make sure that they don't go anywhere. We're going to make sure they don't do anything, because it looks like the only heroes I see for green are in their island here. We're going to head for their main castle somewhere in the middle. And then we're going to explore this map fully, because it would be an absolute shame if I didn't. Let's have Vitania go here. Hector go here. Whoa. That was loud. We're going to just send over 4 black dragons. I think that this army should be able to handle anything, and this army should be able to handle most things. I will keep... Well, I'm going to put over the +3 there. We've already got leadership, so we don't need this or that. Luck, I could take it or leave it. And spell scrolls. I don't have a magic spell book here for Ector, so he might as well give over all these. Okay, so 4 slots left. Is that going to be a problem for Vitania? I don't think so. I think that she'll be fine from there. Okay. Everybody's getting in the boat. Oh, and there is one more red enemy there that I missed. I'm guessing that this is their final hero. Oh, and that's so sad because there's no way, with it being a new week, there's no way he's going through bone dragons and the likes. So, sad to see that. And we are heading into the sorceress's domain. We cannot take the castle. We are just going to sit right outside. And we're going to maybe defeat these heroes. Several phoenixes. Somehow the knight's forces are still doing better than anybody else. Somehow I still have these knight troops. And that feels pretty good. I worried that I would have major attrition. And I worried that these forces would not carry me through to the end. I thought I would have to rely on the dragons and the titans. But hey, because I didn't have to defeat Brother Seth, then I didn't have to deal with the toughest enemies on the map. And so my forces never really took a hit. And so those Crusaders are somehow still here, surprisingly. Red is almost gone there. We did see them hop into a boat, Jezebel. For that reason, we're going to track down the rest of these enemy heroes. Ariel, Mandigal. Let's focus on Ariel. Because she actually looks like she has some forces. I don't want her to be able to get to this Silverleaf and cause me some problems. Ector's just going to land over here. Kia. And Vitania is going to sail north to the Island of Wind. Over here. But she wants to see the mermaids because of course she does. The magical soothing beauty of the mermaids reaches you and your crew. Just for a moment, you forget your worries and bask in the beauty of the moment. The mermaid's charms bless you with increased luck for your next combat. I don't know if there's going to be a next combat. Oh, there will be. We got to defeat genies. Lots of genies. Great. Genies are always one of the worst enemies to see, especially in a late game type of situation. I think you would rather fight genies in the mid game more than anything else. Late game, they're terrifying because they have the chance to half your stacks. Otherwise, they're just scary. They're always scary. In the mid game, if you lose a big stack of swordsmen, who really cares? It's not that big of a deal. But later on, when it can potentially be titans, when it can potentially be dragons, doesn't feel good. Does not feel good. 6 of the phoenixes, 18 grand elves, 8 of the unicorns, 31 battle dwarves, 10 of the greater druids. 1 attack, 1 defense, 4 spell power, 7 knowledge. There might be some spells dropping from the enemy. I think I'm also going to drop some spells. Note that the phoenixes, I tried to click on them, but they are immune to elemental spells. That means cold ray, lightning bolt, things like that. But still, this chain lightning is going to be effective. Very, very much so. Let's get down the battlefield, phoenixes. I don't know where they're going to want to go. Straight for the rangers, so be it. If I have anti-magic, which I might, then I may invest. Never mind. I was going to say I might invest in anti-magicking my Crusaders. This map has turned into a slaughter. It's over. And where did it end? When did I win this map? I think I won this map, honestly. As soon as I was able to take this Warlock Castle, it was probably basically over. Once I got the Wizard Castle as well, it was like really over. And then from there, we've just been able to move forward and defeat our enemies without major problems. The Valley of Andren, where ancient power awaits the hero who is wise enough to know the names of those who came before. This is it, folks, this is it. The Valley of Andren, where ancient power awaits the hero who is wise enough to know the names of those who came before. I think that we know these. So this is it. This is going to be the gauntlet. We were told many weeks ago that we needed to remember these names and learn these names. And this does have something riding on it. This is Ector. He's level 7. He's got 4 black dragons. I would hate to just lose 4 black dragons, but it's going to be his job to see if he can guess the riddles. And let's see if Phixfox can be smart about this. I have a riddle for you, the Sphinx says. Answer correctly and you shall be rewarded. Answer incorrectly and you shall be eaten. Do you accept the challenge? I do. The weapon I guard was once wielded by the master of weapons from the Age of Heroes. Name for me this mighty warrior. I think that this is Selwyn. The weapon I guarded was once wielded by the master of weapons from the Age of Heroes. The master of weapons? I think it's Selwyn Beeswind. She's the one that's on the island with all of the Xandus. I hope I'm spelling this right. You guessed incorrectly, the Sphinx says, smiling. The Sphinx swipes at you with a paw, knocking you to the ground. Another blow makes the world go black, and you know no more. We lose Ector. We lose 4 black dragons. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Oh no, I didn't mean to fight this. I'm sad. I forgot. I didn't actually want to fight this fight. Because now green has no castles. Now green has to take a castle in order to let me explore this map more. I just messed up. Whoops. We will see. Maybe they will take it back. Maybe I'll still get the opportunity to explore this whole map. Speaking of maps, Obelisk. That we are not too far away from getting the ultimate artifact, I think. Green just lost a hero to nobody. Red just lost. Oh no. Oh no. Folks. 1 green hero left. I think that that's all that's remaining. 1 green hero right here. I'm going to pick up Corrin, and then we're just going to call it a day. So, we go through this magical barrier. This is a glorious victory. We're going to fight this fight again, because if it's the final fight, it seems like a shame to just let the AI fight for me. We don't get the bad luck there. Good luck for the genies, bad luck for me. But that does not happen, so we're fine here. We attack. We still have 4 black dragons. 32 damage from those genies. And they still have not halved the stack. Although, 10 genies are doing about 130 damage per swipe. And so they're still doing pretty good. Oh, it happened! Genies destroy half the enemy troops. Genies do 900 damage. 3 titans perish. Ouch. It happened. Well, let's see if it'll happen to the dragons now. I think that with Corrin coming up, though, that at least we know that we're going to have a hero of legendary status. Genies do 600 damage. 2 black dragons perish as they destroy half the enemy troops. Wow. This fight went really poorly, really quickly. So 3, 27, 2, and 5. 2100 experience, but man, that was a little bit ugly. We come to this obelisk. We have much of this land, and it looks like it's going to be in the plains. Somewhere right about here, if I had to guess. Let's just have Lord Kilburn go. He'll see if he can get really lucky. Let me do this one more time. Windmill, road, peasants, road, sawmill, treehouse. It's probably a little bit closer right there. But if that's the case, then right here is where I'm going to dig. So a couple more days and then we shall dig. I'm going to let Mandigal go take this castle. I will defeat him when I feel like defeating him. Nobody tells me what to do. What are you doing, bro? What are you doing? What? Okay. Mandigal has a problem. If Mandigal had attacked me and died and I didn't get the chance to see Corrin, I would have actually been upset. As it stands, a genie approaches you. Well done, hero. You have earned this treasure and the right to set Corrin free to serve you. Always remember to respect the elements, hero. We gladly serve a fair lord, but our retribution to a cruel master is terrible indeed. In a dazzling display of daring, you break into the local jail and free the hero imprisoned there, who in return pledges loyalty to your cause. This is going to be Corrin the Wizard, level 19. He has 35 of the earth elementals, 35 air, 35 fire, 35 water, and 15 genies, not to mention Legendary Scepter, Elemental Ring, Book of the Elements. Does he have any spells to cast? No. I'm guessing that these artifacts are going to be what really does it for him. Let's see. Summon Water Elemental, summon Fire Elemental, summon Earth Elemental, and I can only guess what that final artifact will be. So, I feel fairly satisfied. It looks like we missed something here, and in a couple of places. I'm gonna do something a little bit sad here. As we finish off this fight, I'm gonna go to the map editor. I'm just gonna see if there's any major issues that I've missed. I'm not gonna spoil this map for you. If you want to play through this map, I'm not gonna just give you all the answers, but I will just go to see if there's any interesting tidbits on the map that we just didn't get around to exploring. Sometimes it's just nice to be very thorough on these maps. Who knows when we're gonna come back? It may be that we never on stream come back to Plains of Aekon, and so if that's the case, then I want to make sure that we deal with that now. Folks, major event, green player's been vanquished. That's going to be this final scenario. With multiple technical issues as my computer just turned into a little briquette. We've made it through though, with 97 days, a score of 227, and the rating of a Titan. That is not going to be in my top scores. I think I have to eclipse 234 in order to get into my top scores. But that was a worthy effort all the same, not too far away. And I'm very, very happy for the way that that scenario turned out. So let's take a quick look at the map editor in Heroes of Might and Magic 2 Gold, just so we can take a look at Plains of Aekon, see if there's anything else that's interesting here. Okay. Here in the map editor for Heroes of Might and Magic 2 Gold, it looks like some of the interesting features that we might have missed. I mean, first off, we never got these pyramids because these were all requiring the expert wisdom. We never did pick up those. This is very interesting. This island here is super cool. Oh my goodness, how did we miss this? I mean, just the artifacts alone are nifty, but like these event bubbles, I'm not going to click on them. I'm sure that they are very, very cool. I wish we had. I wish we had gotten the story that was there. Somehow, let's see, there's an event bubble here. I've got to check that out real quick. You discover the bones of an ancient cyclops near a gravesite buried in a sepulcher in the swamp. This being was once a great warrior in the army led by Beswin Selwyn. Oh, I definitely messed up that name then. I definitely messed up that name. Okay. And died in the Demon Wars. Your shaman tells you that his treasure has been preserved in hopes that a worthy leader of the Dothraki would find it someday. There's a power axe, 3,500 gold, things like that. Nifty. Okay, so I imagine since we found one like that, we found in our territory this divine breastplate, and this was that small shrine. I guess that every starting area probably has something like that. Not this one. Anyway, we never got here. This little desert island. One of the Lich Kings greets you, an emissary from the House of Justice. It's been a long time. Tell me then, are you ready to forgive the crimes of Strathern and accept these outcasts back into your house? You nod, telling the Lich King that the time for exile has passed. The Liches gives you tokens of their loyalty, a black pearl, gold, and stuff. Wow. So this island's pretty nifty. Oh, and there's 1, 2, 3 Sphinx. And we couldn't even make it past the first. Darn. Otherwise, we did see the enemy come into this territory. They took these artifacts here. I did not realize that there was a dragon utopia here. That's very interesting. You hear the mighty wing beats of the dragon Tyrax. So you've come, Warlock. Perhaps you do have some steel to you after all. Very well, claim the hoard that was once promised you and be gone, unless of course you are a fool enough to challenge the defenders of Dragon City. They give you the Dragon Sword of Dominion, 10,000 gold, a couple resources. Pretty nifty. And then it looks like Titans and the likes, or giants guarding here. Another story about thunderous footfalls. Very interesting. Okay, so as far as other islands that we might have missed, I think we actually missed one of these. A genie approaches you. We already saw that one. A genie approaches you. So Dark One, it says ruefully, you triumph. Now you seek to enslave the elementals to your purpose. Take heed to what happened to Corrin, Warlock. If you do not respect those who serve you, eventually you shall fall. You sneer at the genie and strike it down in contempt. Nobody tells you what to do. Didn't I just say that? Didn't I say that earlier? I said nobody tells me what to do. Folks, is Phixfox actually evil at heart? Is this like the biggest character swap we've ever seen? Oh my goodness, this is interesting. Only the Warlocks can get this bubble. Warlocks are apparently evil. Even the Necromancers aren't evil. The Barbarians aren't evil, but the Warlocks are apparently totally evil because they get this special event text if they are the ones to claim Corrin, the mage. That is so very interesting. That is cool. I love that. I don't think we ever got this one here. There was a Spear of Negation artifact and we just missed it. Beswin Selwine approaches you again. I have nothing but contempt for you and your vile order, she says, but honor dictates that I give you a gift for your achievements so far. So be it, let me see if this bauble is a blessing for you or a curse. Sphere of Negation. So once again, if you play as the Warlocks, folks, this is another event that only the Warlocks can get. And if you play as the Warlocks, you're going to have a very different playthrough than you otherwise would have. This is for orange only, so if you play as the Knights, you get the Holy Hammer. This is your not your deity, but this is your patron. Legendary Scepter for everybody else. Very interesting. So the Warlocks actually have a very unique playthrough that others just don't get. What's this? The Troll Queen and her party ambush you. After a fierce battle with the Queen herself, you finally emerge the victor. Ha, the Troll Queen says. Well fought, Dothraki. You're made of tougher meat than I expected. I wanted to make sure you weren't some sniveling wimp before I gave you my support and my treasure. And so, much like the Knights have Beswin Selwine, I guess that the Troll Queen is our friend here. So every playthrough is different, folks. We might have to do Plains of Aekon again. We just might. And I'm not sad about that at all. There's lots of things I'm sad about. That is definitely not one of them. So with that being said, there are still, I'm sure, many more fun secrets to explore on this map. I highly recommend that you go and play through this and you find out them for yourself and let me know which ones made the very most sense to you and which ones made you the happiest, folks. Thanks so much for the time. Thanks for the energy. It's been an absolute pleasure to do this playthrough, even if it's been a little bit stitched together. My name is Phixfox. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one. I can tell you that we are not going to be streaming this Friday due to scheduling issues. So that's going to be Friday, the 20th of September. I will not be streaming. I'm going to see if I can get there on Saturday, but if not, folks, until I see you again, look after you, look after your friends, look after your family, and I will see you in the next one. Take such good care. I'm out.